Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on, we got football players here. Good morning. Come on, we want to hear you. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. All right, being an old football player, when you have a football team, good morning, coach. Come on, you're football players. Get a little tougher, a little louder, okay? But once again, welcome to the third annual Optim Orthopedics Prep Sports Report Football Media Day, okay? I'm excited to be here today to celebrate the start of the 2023 football season, of course, in the Savannah area, which means Effingham County, Chatham County, Bryan County, Liberty County. We have a great lineup of schools in attendance today. Looking forward to hearing from their coaches and, of course, the players about their goals and their outlook for the season. I know many of you are aware of the presenting sponsor, Optim Orthopedics, but for those of you who don't, it's a group of board-certified orthopedic surgeons who specialize in treatment of sports injuries for a lot of different age groups. And they really, they would rather not see you, okay, being an athlete. But you know what? It does happen. Football's a game of injuries. And the guys that are involved in the local schools, I wish I could remember off the top of my head each school, they do a great job. We got two in the back, Dr. David Palmer. And you got to help me out because I always mess it up. Dave Settery, okay? Dr. Palmer, how many schools are you at?
Yeah, 4.
Okay.
The Effingham schools, Calvary, and Richmond Hill.
Coach Settery? 4. Go ahead.
BC, Liberty, Bradwell, and then Benedictine.
So, these guys, they're here. I know Dr. Palmer for a long time. Go Seminoles. So, plus we got some local football players down there. If you don't know, Kalen Deloach, linebacker from Islands High School, is going to be all-world senior this year. Proud to say that I coached them in basketball. So looking forward for that. But that's what it is. Seeing you guys get to the next level and following you guys at the next level. That's what it's all about. And, of course, I got to thank the media, all right? Without the media telling your story, okay, that's what it's all about. And that's why I started the Prep Sports Report over 23 years ago, was to get you guys a little more coverage. No, I'm not the expert as Joey Lamar from WSAV or the OGs over here from Savannah Morning News, Dennis Knight, and of course, Savannah Morning News, and now he helps me out, the Prep Sports Report, Nathan Dominance. I wouldn't be able to do this. It's a hobby of mine because, I'm still a full-time teacher. So, but these guys do a great job. And just give a plug here to Dennis Knight. If you guys don't realize, he's a one-man show. Okay, if you could help him out, you're going to get stuff on the internet. You're going to get stuff in the Savannah Morning News. He's been here for how long now? 13. South California boy. Been here for 13 years. He does a great job. So if you have anything, give him a call, text him. I know he'd be more than happy to get the news out there. Same thing with me and Nathan Dominance. Get us your story. We'll help you out. And then, of course, the man used to be the voice of Low Country Radio for the Wildcats. Now he's doing a Wildcat station. Charlie Moon, a lot of experience in covering you guys. So we're here for you. All right. Now, we got two photographers here. One is a student photographer from St. Andrews, Vanna Fanks, right? Thanks, Vanna. I always say it backwards. Thanks, Vanna. And Derek. He's here from Optim Orthopedics with Nick Gann, who's not here, who helped me put this on. All right? So you guys want to say anything? You're good just to listen and go?
I like what you said. We do go back a long way.
Yes, we do.
Groves
High School.
I remember walking across the field and seeing you over there.
Yeah. Way back when, okay? So once again, to the coaches that are here right now, because I set up in the schedule, because last year at Enmark Arena, we had people waiting 2 or 3 hours, so there's a schedule. We're behind. Okay, once again, Savannah State's got practice going. Joey came over from practice. I couldn't get my camera to work right. So, but for you guys coming today, it's all about you. All right, the format is I'm going to introduce you, coach. Going to give him a quick question to kick it off, and then the media is going to throw some questions at you guys. So if the football players, just be ready to answer some questions. Be honest. I mean, tell us like it is. All right. And it'll be a lot of fun. So it's going to be a lot of success. Oh, before I forget, we got a lot of food. Okay. A lot of food. There's 5 3-foot heroes. There's Italian, there's American, I don't know what it is, but it's from Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering. It's a local paisan from New York. He's got a little deli down the block on Skidaway. There's salad, so there's drinks, so please help yourself, because I'm a one-man show at home. My wife's not going to eat it, and I can't eat all that, so make sure you get a sandwich, take it with you, and it's for you guys. All right, so let's kick it off, okay? First off, and how this worked this year, I didn't do it in alphabetical order. I put the names in a spinner, an app, and there were 13 teams, and so happens that South Effingham came up first. So to start the show off today, South Effingham High School, first-year head coach at South Effingham, first-year head coach in his career. He's going to come up with his guys and introduce his guys. Lauren Purvis. Come on up, Lauren. Go ahead and grab your seat. Okay, Coach. 2023 South Effingham High School Mustangs. Give us a little background about you, and then, of course, how spring practice went and how summer is going leading up into, I guess, 3 weeks from now that we kick it off.
That's right. Yeah, so this is year 13 for me, first year as a head coach, and I feel like I've been all over the state. I'm from South Georgia, and my first coaching job was up at Prince Avenue in Athens. Then I went over to Gwinnett at Tequila High School, and then found my way down here to South Effingham back in 19. Was here for a brief time, went up to Morgan County, which is in Madison, Georgia, and then now I'm back down here. And what a blessing it's been to be back down here. This feels like home. When they gave me the call to come back, it was, once I got the job, it was welcome home and welcome back. And so I'm excited to be back. Some of these guys, all these guys right here are seniors. I had them as freshmen. And so it's fun to see how much they've grown and how much they've changed once I got back. But to get to your question about the springtime, I came in, middle of April, I think, was the first day I was at the school. And a lot of people asked, are you even going to have a spring practice with getting here so late? And I said, heck yeah, we're going to have a spring practice. I want to see these guys fight. I want to see these guys compete. I want to see them play. And we're staying in our wing tee offense. That's what we're going to be based in. And I think the transition there was a little bit easier on them than trying to come in and make everything new, make everything change. And I was really pleased with the spring. We hit all 10 days. We just, we took 2 days on, 1 day off, and we got after each other. And then we had a game, our Cardinal White game. We messed with that a little bit. It wasn't true split teams, but we got to see everything we got to see. And we had a lot of kids playing both ways, which is exciting. I don't think that's something that they've done here in the past, in the recent past at least. So it's fun to see these guys in new scenarios, new positions, and to watch them play. Summer's been good. We didn't go too many days in June. In June, we got a lot of lifting, a lot of running. We didn't even touch the football on some Thursdays this summer, which was a lot of fun. We just had competition days. Like we had days where we put out the tire and saw who's going to tear the tire out of each other's hands, and races and things, just things like that to try to get these guys to see their personalities come out, to see their competitive nature come out, things like that. So I'm very pleased with how the spring went. I'm very pleased with how the summer went. I would say if anything has gotten better now that we've gotten to put on the pads and gotten to feel like football, and staying away from those 7-on-7s and I love 7-on-7. It has its place, but it's not the real game. And now that we get to put on the pads, it's back to the real game. So it's exciting. Can I introduce these guys I got with me?
That's my next question. Let us know who you got with you.
Yeah, awesome. Right here, I've got our quarterback, Caden DeGennaro. He's a senior. Right here is Jeremiah Washington. He's going to be one of our middle linebackers, our stack backers, and then he's going to play a little bit of tight end for us as well. And then to his right is Demian McFarland. Demian's our fullback, as well as, Demian, is there something you don't play on defense? D-line, linebacker, all those things. He's a jack of all trades. And then Chase Woodle over there on the end, number 6. He's also a senior. He just flies around and he does a great job at linebacker. So I'm excited about these guys. Caden's really picked up the offense again. It's an easy transition. It was fun. Like having this guy that I coached as a freshman. Gosh, you got some varsity time. Freshman year, we had some injuries that year, and I think by game 10, Caden was in there as a starting quarterback, as a true freshman, or as a 14-year-old freshman. So it was exciting to see that and see how he's grown. But all these guys, man, they've come in and they've accepted me, and I like I said earlier, I couldn't be more blessed to be back here with them. So.
So to the media now, shoot your questions.
So, Coach, I guess you're going to be running the wing tee as the offense. What's your offense going to be looking like?
Yes, sir. We're going to be based right there in the wing. I ran that under Jeff Herron when I was at Prince Avenue and before him under Mark Farabah. And so you get to see two different coaching styles in the same offense and the way you guys call it and the way guys try to set things up. And actually, I played in the wing when growing up, and I love the wing tee. I think it's a great offense. You got, it's a three-headed monster back there. You never know where the ball's going to me. And we're also going to be able to get into some of our different looks, but we're going to be based there in the wing.
Next up, Coach, can you talk about this is your first year as head coach?
Yes, sir.
What are the kind of things that you always wanted to do and different when you finally became head coach? What kind of team did you want to form in terms of personality, kind of reflecting from the top down?
Sure. Yeah. First thing is I'm very competitive, and I mean every head coach in here is extremely competitive. This is what we do, but it doesn't matter if we're playing basketball, checkers, like we're going to get after each other, and that's one thing that I'm trying to instill in them every day. And it's fun when practice gets chippy, when practice gets to the point where there's something on the line, and that's my personality. I feel like I've been like that since you guys have known me, and my wife can probably admit to that as well, since she's known me, that it's always been that way. Just competitive nature. So that's the first thing I want them to play with, that attitude behind it. But other than that, when I got into coaching, you start looking forward to, you have these goals of, all right, one day I'm going to be a head coach. What do I want it to do? What I want it to look like? And then these guys, my very first meeting with them, I told them when they introduced me to the football team, guys, I love you. You're going to hear me say it now, and you're going to believe me later. And so that's one thing I want them to know, that, and I mean, you guys have seen that I do love them. I have their best interests at heart, and I want them to play with that in mind, that they're going to play for a guy that loves them and that's going to treat them the right way.
Has anybody challenged you in checkers yet?
We had a little fun. Like, was it Tanner yesterday? Challenged me on a little route at practice. So I blame the quarterback on a bad throw. I'm kidding. No, I'm not athletic as I used to be, which I never was to begin with. So it was fun to try. I mean, but it was, we try to end practice on the end of the week with some fun stuff. So it was a good time. We've had some throwing competitions. You got me a time or two, man. Oh, come on now. I think that's a little talk, but we'll see. All right, we'll see Monday. I'll get back with you.
Okay, you've been in 13 years. How does the rivalry game with Effingham for you guys compare to other rivalry games that you've been involved with?
Yeah, so, in Gwinnett, we had a big one, Tequila and Mill Creek, two huge schools, and going at it. And, it was always a battle. It didn't matter how good each team was. It was always, they were never going to be separated by more than 14 points or so. One thing that was different about that, there's 20-something high schools in Gwinnett. Down here in Effingham, it's just us in Effingham County. And so it truly, everybody shows up to it. And that's what's exciting. Like, I remember the first time that I was here in the past, we played it at home, and the entire stands were filled, and it was exciting. It was a fun game. We ended up pulling away from it. It was close. I mean, that one was, I think, 13-7 going into the fourth quarter. We had a lead, and we ended up pulling away from it. The next year, our quarterback goes down in the first or second quarter. Stila breaks that collarbone in the first, second quarter. And even with that, we only lost 10-0. It was just a battle. I mean, it's a fight. And I don't know how it's been in the recent past. I haven't been here, so I know Coach Ford does a really good job with Effingham County. He was up at Buford when I was up at Tequila. I mean, he's a good coach. So I know that game is going to be heated. First of all, as a rivalry side, and then again going up against somebody that's that talented in that position, it's going to be tough.
Hey, Coach, losing a couple of big-time playmakers like Jamar Fields and Justin Martell from last year. Who you kind of look for to step up in the playmaker role on offense?
It definitely doesn't make it easy coming in and seeing the guys going out, for sure. But we've got some guys I'm excited about. I mean, like I said, DeMasi is our fullback. We got another fullback there, Caden Ward. He's going to have a good year. Jakeem Leaks at wingback. I look to him to have a good year too. Ashton Troutman out receiver. Dominic Martell, Justin's little brother that you just mentioned. These guys are all on the offense. Those guys, we got Ashton Anderson at offensive guard. I know offensive line is not We got any O-linemen in here sitting? I know that's our O-line coach earlier I talked to. That's not a glorified position as a playmaker, but those guys are tough as nails. And we don't do what we do on offense without them doing what they do up front. So I'm excited about them. Defensively, Jeremiah here looks to have a good year at linebacker. He moved over from outside linebacker. Chase on the end here. There's a reason these guys are here with me today. It's just, a lot of our guys are going to be either young or maybe not have played as much in some of those roles because you're talking about, we lost Wickerson, we lost Patel, we lost some big-time playmakers. So I'm excited to see how they show out in their new roles.
Dominic, you're a guy where you're testing some numbers. Talk about that.
Yeah. Coming into this season, I just wanted to take the role of the leader on the team and show them that we are still going to compete and we're not going to let down. Even though we lost our seniors last year, we're not going to let down just because of that. We're going to set the tone for this season because this is our senior year, and we want to lead and build a program for the school, for South.
And Katie, you've been at the spot since your freshman year, a couple years ago when Clark was there. First year he was there, his freshman year, I guess. He's running more conventional offense, and then you realize what kind of guys he had there, the type of athletes he had. You need to go back and go to the wing team. You feel like now this will be year 2 in the wing team. You feel like you handled that change, and now you're comfortable with the wing team. Talk about that, especially at the start of your freshman year.
So the transition going from, just either it was stretch or up the middle from gun, then going, my freshman year, I never took an under center snap. Then going sophomore year, I think I only took one, and that was for a victory snap. I think even then we were in like a little pistol set. So then going into junior year, we completely committed to wing T. That was a big, I think I fell the first time I did buck sweep steps. just learning all of them. Then it was constant, it was because it's that offense, everybody's got to be all on the same page. Everybody's got to be on the same mindset. It's everything has to work. It's a machine on that offense. And as soon as one thing goes wrong, you notice it, and it's a game of, the offense is a game of deception. So I really had to run out my face, make sure my steps are right, hide the ball. It was a big learning. It's a big learning goal right there.
From the players, Coach talked about the rivalry. I want to get the player perspective. What's it like, that you in school and then what it's like, on Friday night?
From a player's perspective, I go to both schools. So I go to the Career Academy and I go to South Effingham. Career Academy is shared between Effingham and South. So I get a chatter from Effingham people walking around here, and hey, they'll have a fair share of chatter, but it's always a fun time. Just that whole week, 2 weeks building up to it. It's always a fun experience. You get I played football with many of these guys. 2 of the guys that are here, I played football with them and Red growing up. It's always a good time just being able to go out and compete against them, seeing how far they've come and showing how far we've all came. And that's how it is for everybody. It's either rec, travel ball. We've all played together growing up, then have the ability to compete against each other. It's always a good experience. Then the environment, man, it's unbelievable. Sophomore year, I just remember that was another packed out game, and it's either it's blue or red, man, and it's truthfully a house divided in this county, and it's just a big atmosphere. It's really fun too. I'm sure all these guys can agree with it.
Yeah, just like Kaden was saying, we all grew up together. So it's fun playing. I play my cousins, best friends in the rivalry game and stuff like that. And like he was saying, at the schools, the whole week coming up to the game, you hear the talk, who's gonna win. But that Friday night, when the stands are packed, that's when you gotta show it. And that's just the great experience about it, I would say.
I don't have that much to add to it. We all played since we were little. And growing up.
But it's just a good experience getting to go against the guys that you all came up with.
All right, got 1 minute. Any more questions? Coach, final words?
I appreciate you having us here today. Optim, I appreciate y'all hosting us. Dr. Palmer, thank you guys. We're excited. I'm excited to be back. And I think these guys right here, I've challenged them every day as seniors to really set the tone, not just for this season, but to leave a legacy to really be a catalyst for this program. So I'm excited to be here. Thank y'all.
Let's give up the Mustangs. Yeah, you can steal that. Good. Step back. How about now? Good. I mean, they're going to get the belly. I'm trying to get the head in there too. So, but anyway, thanks, Coach. Great job, guys. That's what it's all about. I know I slotted 15 minutes for everybody. We're starting a little late because of technical difficulties, but this is what it's all about. Hearing from these kids, hearing from the coaches, going into this season. Well, he's not here today. Okay, he had some other obligation. Matt Lazat from Richmond High School. I mean, I've watched him grow. He's an unbelievable coach. He loves his program. He loves his kids. But he's got a substitute head coach coming in here. Richmond Hill High School Wildcat offensive lineman coach, assistant coach, offensive lineman Josh Davis is going to come up here and talk about the Richmond Hill Wildcats with his group. Come on up, guys. Richmond Hill High School. Yeah, slide in. There you go. You got to slide in if you're going to be on the outside. Slide down a little bit. It's an extra chair. All right, so you two guys will use that mic, and you don't have to put it all the way up to your mouth. And Coach, that's for you. Got it. All right, so Coach, assistant coach, offensive coach, Josh Davis from Richmond Hill High School. So, Coach, tell us a little about you and how you got roped into doing this today. That was up. You know. Okay, but and tell us how the spring and summer went for the Wildcats this year.
Josh Davis, offensive line coach. Grew up here in Richmond Hill. Played offensive line here. Graduated, went to Savannah State. Played there for a couple years. Coached Liberty County for a couple years, and came back home about. I think this is my 7th year now at Richmond Hill. Been a coach for 12 years. Coached offensive line for a long time. Played it for a long time, and this is by far, in a way, probably the best spring and summer we've had. I don't ever like putting that, that connotation on it, saying it's the best this, best that. But, we started in the spring, or really, really early spring, with a leadership council. Brought everybody in. It was an invite only type deal, where we, invited, different players from different age groups, different classes to come in and really create that council that kind of held the entire team, accountable. And that's kind of grown now to where, these kids are, it's a different aura, different atmosphere at practice than it has been in the past. These guys keep each other accountable. They fly around. They know what to expect. They know what the expectations are, and they hold each other accountable to those. And we follow through that through the spring. And it was, we started really early in the spring, just doing, just the usual early morning stuff. And we went back to the nuts and bolts, the simple things, and really get good at doing those things, like, offensive line, just getting in your stance and getting your first step in the ground. Just teaching, going back to teaching instead of just trying to install everything, just teach. I think our spring was really good because of that. There wasn't a lot of questions. There wasn't a lot of hiccups. We practiced really fast. And, from start to finish of practice, I think it's like, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. But I don't think anybody practices as fast as we do. We get after it. We don't stop. And it's a testament how fast we play, during the season as well. Roll into the summer. We had a couple OTAs. We did really well in the Glen OTA. Went to Dublin, played West Lawrence and some other schools over there. That was really fun. And those guys, I mean, they showed out. They showed up and showed out. You know, we knew what we had coming into it. We're gonna be big up front. Knew that we're gonna be fast, athletic, and secondary. Know we had to replace quarterback. Probably gonna do more different, a little bit different type. It's the same offense, but a little bit more quarterback run game. And we've installed that, and it's been great.
Introduce him.
All right, sitting right next to me is one of our seniors, Nick Bliss. He's played for us 4 years. He's going to be a guy that we're going to treat him like Christian McCaffrey. You know, I mean, we're going to throw him the ball, hand him the ball, snap him the ball. Sometimes we're going to toss it to somebody else to throw it to him. You know, he's going to be a guy that's going to touch it a lot. Next to him is Gabe Bauman, starting Mike Backer, starting inside for us. Flies around. You know, he the Jugger's got pipes, man. If he flex, he'll hit you and then flex on you. Caleb Eastling down there, another one just like Nick. He plays both sides of the ball. He locks down the whole side of the field or half the field, and then he gets on offense. If he's over there, he's getting the ball. He's just going to we're going to toss it to him. We're going to hand it to him. We're going to throw it to him. We're going to snap it to him. It's going to be kind of tough. You have a bunch of guys like that. You know, you got Nick, Caleb, Brandon McDonald, Kirk Scott, Josh Ulrich, or Josh Troop. A couple of the guys that it's going to be kind of hard to get those touches. But these guys deserve it. They worked really hard to get there.
You played in Region 1, Class 7A. I think Culver's ranked 20th in the nation. You have out Austin Morgan, State in high school. Some people call that the toughest region in the nation for high school sports. Do you agree with that? And what's it like playing there?
I think what makes that region so tough is the tradition. It's expected, the expectations that go into playing in that region. There's a certain level that you have to play at. You walk in the lounge and the first bleacher is 12 foot high. The light show that they come out to. You go to Bethesda and the tradition, the winningest high school in the nation, ever for anybody. Like Camden County, they're always expecting, no matter what the year was before, they're going to expect to be and compete. In Colquitt, they're always great. They're always in the top 5, always competing for a state championship. And I think because the expectations are what they are, it's something that we have to live up to those expectations. I think last year there was a lot of shock and awe factor. We had a lot of young guys that played. But I think the benefit of doing that at a young age is that now we roll in, we roll down to Camden. It's not the first time we played them. It's not the first time our young guys, not young guys anymore, but a lot of our guys that played them, it's not going to be a big deal. It's another football game. And that's what we try to instill. We go to Colquitt game 10 and we've heard about the light shows, heard about the loudspeakers, the fans, but we got loudspeakers. We got fans that come to our games. It's going to be okay. And I think once these guys saw that this past year, that it's just another football game. Everybody talks about Camden and Lowndes, about Austin and Colquitt, but nobody says about anything about Ware or Coffee, who's on our non-region schedule. Rolling down there to Coffee and playing those guys, or rolling down to Ware playing in that's a beautiful stadium. If not played there, we play the toughest schedule in the state of Georgia. I really believe that. And it's the second time through, so I think they're going to be ready.
Who do you got in mind to fill those roles?
All right, so with Ty, Ty was a really good player for us for several years. And it's hard to place a guy like that who could command offense. I can't tell how many touchdowns he threw on RPOs, just being able to read the offense or read the defense and go from there. But we got guys that come back like Kirk Scott, John Newman. Nick took some snaps this summer. Caleb's taking snaps this summer. And I think, as a coach and the coaching staff, you go in every year, you can never really say, well, we did this last year, so we got to do it this year. You got to mold your offense, mold your defense, mold your team culture based on who you have. we've done that. We're going to be more mobile at the quarterback position, and because we're going to be more mobile, we're going to use that to our advantage. We're going to speaking about Rayvon. Ty and Rayvon they were a connection for several years. It's a Goldrick to Grant. That was what it was over and over and over again. This year, it could be Kurt to Nick. It could be Caleb to Nick. It could be Nick to Derek Lum. It could be, Caleb to Brandon McDonald. I mean, it doesn't, these guys are ready for that challenge of stepping in those shoes and really running with it. I think it's going to help us a little bit with that. We lose a guy like Zion Gilliard, who just left 2 days ago to go to Peru State. And, the biggest thing for us is we're really counting on our offensive line to step up and go. One thing we've been talking about all summer is how, we're young and we're pups, and that's no more. They're not pups anymore. And we're going to go as of how they play. Our team is going to go, if they can produce and perform like they should, it's going to make all of these guys look good, everybody. So those holes that are really big aren't going to be as big to fill, because if we can be successful up front.
Excitement about, I know you guys aren't in high school forever, just a few years, but is there excitement about what you're building and going 7-8, did that kind of slow that momentum up? You feel like with your home schools, the schedule, you kind of have that.
So that's a good question. So, but the first day we got back, we played Colquitt on a Friday night, came back on Monday, and coaches gave a message to the team about bamboo. I don't know if I remember that. And we talked about that when you plant bamboo, it takes years and years and years and years and years to see any kind of sprout or anything, because of all the foundation that is being laid before a sprout comes up. All you can do is trust in water. You trust to make sure it's growing. You don't know if it's growing on. All of a sudden, one day, a sprout pops up. So if you look back in those years, like talking about building the momentum, like 2019, 2020, that was the foundation that was being laid. And then, you look and right now, you see sprouts like Caleb, like Nick, like Gabe. That foundation's there. The hard part about growth is that I don't think a lot of people outside of the black and gold really understand the kind of growth that we've gone through. They see the wins and losses. They see the failures of this over the successes, but we don't really trouble ourselves with the problems. We just try to look for solutions, and we look for fixes instead of trying to worry about what we can do differently. So as far as slowing down the momentum, I don't think it has. I think if anything, going last year and playing that environment has sped up our momentum, because we go back, we go to OTAs and we're playing teams that we played several years in a row in summertime. We walk in and everybody knows us. Everybody looks at us differently because who we are, who we play against, and we kind of lived up to that this summer. I feel like it was just a different feeling, being knowing where we've come from and where we're going.
Gabe, we called you guys sophomores last year. Sophomores last year between you and Phoenix Emerson and Lee Johnson. You guys had 121 tackles last year. Talk about you three have to challenge each other. So I know all you guys are doing. We probably sit here. I probably sit here. I know what happens now. Gabe, talk about you three. That linebacker core, you and Lee Johnson and Phoenix Emerson. You guys are such a great group.
Yes, sir. So, Lee Johnson, he's been my buddy since day one. I mean, first grade, I remember meeting him. And, one thing that we always had in common was that love for football. And, when Phoenix came along in middle school and kind of just added to that, we became this inseparable group. I mean, all of our reads, all of our steps in practice is synced up. And that's because we've been playing together, 4, 5, 6, 7 years now. And, that's what makes us so good. That's what makes our whole defense so good. Most of us on that defense, we've been playing together for about 8 years now, and yeah, that's what's going to set us apart from the rest, and we're going to have a good year because of it.
And Caleb, the freshman year, had a little over 20 carries. And last year, that number was cut in half, mainly because we also saw a lot of time in the slot receiver. Talk about your role and how, I don't know, maybe it'll change, maybe it won't. Just talk about your role.
Really, I think my role has actually grown a little bit. I mean, I'm probably not ever going to get off the field this year. Defense, offense, special teams, quarterback, receiver, slot, corner, returner, whatever it is. And I honestly think that that's better for me because not only if I'm good with the ball in my hand, but if I don't have the ball in my hand, I can still make a play for somebody else on my team, blocking, cutting off a defender, whatever it is, disrupting a pass, disrupting a block so somebody else can get a tackle. So I really think that my role has grown more on the field and more of a maturity role and a leader role in that case.
All right, let's make this one quick. Talk about challenge, talk about let's talk to our linebacker there. Same thing with you and old Brandon McDonald. You know, on the quarterback, on the edges out there. You guys are juniors, sophomore class last year, now juniors. So that's a great class. You and Brandon challenge each other a lot too.
Oh yeah, me and Brandon, we've been buddies since. I remember he moved here when he was 6 years old, and I've always been in Richmond. But he moved from Virginia when he was about 6 years old, and we're always together. We're always training together, talking about football together. And I mean, he's a great football player. Honestly, he knows the game well. He has a good football IQ, and he's gonna play offense, defense, and special teams just like me. So a lot of us will call us like a two-headed monster or whatever. But we're just both guys that like to play ball, and we're gonna compete with whoever we're gonna play against. So.
Coach, how would you think about classification next year, and what do you think about that process?
I coach offensive line, so to ask that question, I mean, I hope that the classification or the reclassification benefits everybody. Like I could talk about football and how it benefit us, talk about basketball how it benefit them, but I think it benefits everybody as far as team time and everything else. But as far as competition, I really honestly think that even if we're not in the same schedule, don't have the same schedule, the same opponents, we're going to play some of the same ones. Just because we don't put anybody on our schedule, it's just a winnable game. We can go 0-10 this year, or we can go 10-0. I mean, like the week in and week out, we play somebody. We don't play any nobodies. We play somebody every week, and so with that territory comes, we can't just take a year off because we get out of a different region or different classification. With them dissolving 7A and going to, if they do indeed move us to a different region, or they might put us in our old region. I mean, whoever's wearing the Wildcat uniforms are going to play extremely hard.
All right, let's give it up for the Richmond High School Wildcats. Good. Thanks, guys. I like you too. Hey, I appreciate it. Take care. Hey, Colin. We're rolling right along here. It's just so happened that it seems like the out-of-county schools got the first show on today's line. This guy's been around for a while. He's 2 years up in Effingham County. He does a great job. If you want to get a quote, you want to get a saying, just talk to John Ford from Effingham County High School. He'll tell you a lot of things about life in general. But he does a great job, loves his kids, loves where he is, and doing a great job up there in the Palace and the Pines with the Effingham County High School Rebels. You're up, guys. Let's go. Effingham County High School Rebels. Always a pleasure, sir. All right, so if they throw questions at you two guys, And it doesn't have to be all the way up, you know the deal. Okay? All right, Coach. 2023, Effingham High School Rebels. Lived up there for almost 5 or 6 years. It's just a great place to work, great place to be. How did your spring go? How did your summer go?
First of all, thank you, Karl, for setting this up and all the work you do. And thank you to Dr. Palmer and Optim Orthopedics for not only just setting this up, but for also taking care of our kids when they get banged up. Football's a physical game, and we appreciate that we've got good hands that we can send them to like you guys. So certainly grateful for everything that you do for football and for athletics in the 912. Spring and summer have been just as much fun as I've ever had coaching. You know, last November against a really talented Lee County team, 35 seniors took the E off for the last time as football players. And so, you know, we kind of began, just looked at everything we were doing in the weight room and looked at everything we were doing schematically and fundamentally and just everything we did and kind of just reevaluated and made sure that it was what we were doing was right for this group of young men and this group of kids. And just can't speak highly enough about the job they did in the weight room in the off season. I can't speak highly enough of how hard they practice in the spring, how great they were in the summer. Just an unbelievable group of kids we have. You know, people, just to be very transparent, people sometimes want to talk to me about, because we had so many seniors last year, about the guys that aren't here. And the only thing I want to talk about is the guys that are here, because they're an unbelievable group of young men. I do cartwheels and backflips out of bed every day because I get to come to work and coach them. As I get older, that gets a little bit harder and gets a little bit creakier. So Dr. Palmer, I'll maybe coming to see you next time I try it. But it's just a great group of young men to be around. They practice the right way. They prepare the right way. They lift the right way. They love each other. They play hard. They practice hard. I know the Richmond Hill coach said nobody practices faster than them. Well, we practice pretty fast too, and we practice pretty physical. And, you know, sometimes as a coach, you hold your breath when guys go to the ground. Especially this time of year, is there's not a whole lot of time to get them healthy, but it's the way these guys like to practice. So in June, you know, we competed a lot. We did a lot of 7-on-7 type stuff. We worked hard in the weight room, and then in July we did the padded stuff like everybody else. And I just want to say I'm glad the GHSA lets us do that. You know, I know it's. I think somebody asked the Richmond Hill coach a question about reclassification in the GHSA. It's very vogue to bang on the GHSA, but, you know, we're one of 12 states that's allowed to have a spring practice. There's not a lot of states that are allowed to do padded OTAs and things like that. So they give us as coaches a lot of leeway to develop and build our teams. And high school football is very, very important and very, very significant in the state of Georgia. And so I think we do need to give credit where credit is due, that we are permitted to do those things and that we're allowed to do everything that we're allowed to do during the spring and summer. And it helps put what statewide and for me specifically here in the 912, I think a lot of really good products on the field. So excited to see this group compete. They're, like I've said before, they're an unbelievable group of young men, and I'm honored to be with them. I'm honored to represent them. I'm honored to go to work with them and for them every single day. So we're excited about this upcoming season. Yes, to my right is number 1, Antonio A.J. Butts. He is a heck of a linebacker, and he also plays running back. I'm not real smart, but I'm smart enough to get him the ball a couple of times, but he's a heck of a linebacker. Flies around, plays sideline to sideline, but also physical, you know, when the game gets messy in A and B gap. Gary Cooper is a wide receiver and defensive back. He's currently one of our starting corners. Long, fast, athletic, got a basketball background, physical, hard worker, high character. And then all the way down on the right is Zach Harbin. We're an 11 personnel, spread tempo offense, but we still want to be physical. As any coach would understand, to be able to run that offense, you've got to have a really versatile, what we call our Y. Some people call him an H-back. Some people call him an F. You've got to have a really versatile Y that can be physical in the run game, that can understand everything that's going on, but also be enough of a threat in the pass game where teams don't treat him like a 6th offensive lineman. You know, as we're getting ready for a scrimmage next week, you know, 2 years ago, Zach was about 160-pound sophomore, and we had a couple of kids get COVID that first week. And, you know, he came in, you know, play one, game one, and was throwing his body around. And the thing about these 3 guys, I'm proud that they represent Effingham County High School football. as coaches, we all know, there's some kids that when they're wearing your team gear in the hallways and in the classrooms, in the cafeteria, things can get a little loose. There's guys that, you get emails from teachers and they say stuff and you're like, yeah, well, with that kid, that tracks. These guys, I am proud that they wear Effingham County football gear in our hallways, in our community, in our school, and then I'm certainly proud that I get to go to battle with them every Friday night at 7:30. So, unbelievable group of young men, and honored that they're here with us.
Any questions? Go ahead.
Hey, Dennis.
Put together winning programs in the past. What has been your kind of big picture look at Effingham County to get when you got there to where you want to go? What kind of progress is?
In terms of building a program, I think the first place you start is you start with your non-negotiables. You start with your core values, and for us, that's family. That is sacrifice. That's toughness. That's competitiveness, and then the last two are execution and strain. But it starts with family, and it starts with sacrifice, and it starts with toughness. We've got to be a family that loves each other because we're going to be around each other a lot, and we're going to go through good days and hard days. We're going to go through successes, and we're going to go through adversity. And if you don't have connections, if you don't have shared experiences, if the condition is greater than the cause, so to speak, then you're really going to struggle with consistency, and you're going to struggle when things get hard, and you're going to struggle when the temperature gets turned up. And then there has to be some sacrifice. Everybody's got to give up a little bit part of themselves. Coaches, players, community, administration. One thing that we have in Effingham County, and I know Coach Purvis would echo the same thing, is we've got administration at the county level. We've got administration in our school building that really, really gets it and really, really understands what football specifically for us, but what I think athletics in general can do for a high school. And they're committed to giving us the resources, and it's a slow build. I think Effingham County, the whole county, but for me, my focus has to be obviously on the north end of the county. Just has a lot of untapped upside from a football success standpoint, but I think that can open the door and open the windows for the whole 912 to see what a special community is, see what a special town is Springfield and Rinkin and Guyton are. And all the good things that are going there. And Charlie, I know we've talked about the growth in that county, and it's growing like crazy. I mean, you can't drive anywhere without seeing houses built. So what we want to continue to do in the high school building specifically, but what we've got to get done at the middle schools, what we've got to get done at the rec levels is make sure we have that sense of family, make sure we understand sacrifice, make sure we understand toughness, make sure we understand what it takes to compete. And if we do those things and we just keep building and stacking bricks and stacking good days on good days and not worrying about September when it's August and specifically not worrying about, August 18th and it's August 4th, just trying to get better today. And what do we got to do today? What do we got to do defensively? What do we got to do offensively? What do we got really, what do we have to master today? How do we have to prepare in the weight room? If we do those things, and we do it over time, I think we'll be in pretty good shape.
AJ, a lot of Calvary Day, playing on both sides of the ball a lot. Will he be predominantly on defense, or will we see equal time, or what's his role?
As a football coach, I'm a big fan of plays, but I'm a bigger fan of players. And he's a pretty good football player, so he's going to be on the field a lot.
And you talked about missed a lot from last year, coming back. Couldn't make the quarterback back.
Yes, sir.
And is Jaden Evans also back?
Yes, sir.
Tell us how that offense is going to look with experienced guys.
The spine of our offense, I think, returns a lot of guys that have played a lot of snaps. Jaden played a lot of snaps. Nate played a lot of snaps. Center Brady Meglin played a lot of snaps. Zach played a lot of snaps. And then we've got, two guards and two tackles that are going to be new, but they're working really hard, and they're a good group, and Coach Austin Osmond does a really good job with them. And then on the perimeter, we've got 10 receivers fighting for 3 to 4 spots. And so there's competition every day. So if you bust a route or drop a ball, there's somebody that would happily take your rep for you. So, just the competitive nature of practice has been a lot of fun with this group.
You coach a long time.
That just means I'm old.
Have you had a valedictorian at the quarterback spot?
No, and I can't even spell valedictorian. So that just shows you that I wasn't even anywhere close to it. So, no, Nate.
Everybody watched you. Tell us about how the kid that went to Harvard and he went hard to check it out, and then have a kid academically that high level, but leading that team behind the center.
Well, I think his lowest grade was his weight training grade, which was 100 last year. So, which I didn't know was possible. But he's just an awesome kid. Like, if you can have a bad day around Nate, there's something wrong with you. And as you know, his dad, Dr. Nate Hayes, and his mama, Mimi Hayes, who's one of our lead guidance counselors at the high school. Just kind of, to me, what high school sports is all about in a lot of these kids. He plays football in the fall, and he plays basketball in the winter, and he plays baseball in the spring, and then he finishes baseball and rolls out to the spring practice, and plays the piano and he plays the trumpet, and he takes 4 or 5 different AP classes, and just a really unique, special young man. And he's fun to coach every day. He's fun in the film room. He's always got good answers for why he does something. So if you say, "What are you thinking? What are you looking at?" He's pretty dang smart. So you better come prepared to make sure you've got a good response to him. If you just shoot off at the hip with some nonsense, he's going to call you on it because his brain works that way. And so he's certainly a kid that doesn't need football for his future, but I'm certainly glad he's playing it for us. And I'm excited to see where he leverages football and all his many talents to go in the future.
South Effingham's a great team. It's a great. They're a great team. It's a great rivalry every year. Like Caden DeGeneiro said, that those 2 weeks building up to that game every year, it's a great experience to walk down the halls and they have everything just decorated. There may be banter back and forth, but it's all friendly play. Like he said, I played with some of them as a kid. I know Gary did too, and probably AJ. So sometimes it's hard to go up against people you like, but when you're in that zone and you're in the field, it's after it. You got to get after them, no matter who it is on the other side.
Playing with these guys is like we grew up together, like Zach said. But it's a fun experience. The competition is high, pressure's high. Everybody emotions are high because it's a lot on the line. Playing against family, friends, everybody that we grew up together. The experience, the support from the fans on both sides. It's just a great experience, and I love to compete in that kind of environment. Obviously, I'm new to Effingham. I haven't played in that game yet, but when I first came, that's what I've heard about, and I love rivalry games. I feel like when I play in those games, the big games, that's when I show out the most.
Put it this way, AJ, 5 times bigger than the previous rivalry games.
AJ, I will kind of follow up on that. Coming from Calvary Day, the private school football in Georgia is probably hard on. There's a lot of emphasis put on athletics in private schools. In other states, there's just not a lot of emphasis put on athletics. In Georgia, there is. But Calvary Day, smaller conferences. Nothing against smaller conferences. It's not like double A football in Georgia is so far away than other states. But moving up to 6A, are you looking forward to that challenge? Coach Davis mentioned it earlier. When we played 5, 6A, 7A high school football in Georgia, there is no week off. You're looking forward to that challenge in 6A.
I'm not worried at all. I feel like if it was 7A, I'll be able to play. I feel like I can play in any A there is in any state. So I'm ready for the challenge.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think you
Actually,
you're looking forward to that.
It's not going to be a challenge. I'm coming for everybody, every snap of the play, and yeah, I got guys around me that's going to keep me in check. So yeah, I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready.
Is that your hometown out there?
No, I just moved out there this year.
Coach Ford, the first time you went on talk, you were sweeping the floors in the locker room. We were talking about getting ready for our weekly coaching shows that we started a couple years ago, and you were out in rep, and you said, and I was like, what is going on? You run around the showers and like sweeping the floors in the locker room. Like, he's like, because I'm going to start a booster club. And I'm thinking, wow, Talk about the transition from literally square one. You kind of mentioned earlier. Talk about what's going on to that where you are now. Because last 2 years, you guys like 1 or 2 plays from winning 2 conference titles. You know, against Brunswick the last 2 years. Talk about that.
I mean, I don't think like we've done anything crazy or we've done. I just think we've tried to build this thing the right way every single day and make the next right decision and. Just continue to put infrastructure around these guys and have good processes every single day, like every football coach tries to do, that allows them to operate at their best, that allows them to succeed, that allows us to give them a first-class experience in their high school football career so that it's something that, 20 years from now helps them be great husbands and fathers and employees and employers, and is also something they can look back on fondly. And so, just in terms of just doing what needs to be done. If we need to get a booster club built, we're going to get a booster club built. If the floors need to get swept, we're going to sweep the floors. And, Kirby at his press conference, media days at the SEC media days, Coach Smart talked about, they studied the New Zealand All Blacks and talked about, well, what did they say? Better never rests. And if you're a leader, if you're a coach and you've never read anything about the All Blacks, one of their core principles is sweep the sheds. And so, and nobody thinks they're too good to do anything in our place. And if the floor's got to get swept, the floor's got to get swept. And, I don't know if that means we're doing anything better or worse than anybody else, but we're going to continue to try to build Effingham County football into the premier program that we feel like this community deserves and what I feel like these kids deserve.
Zach, those guys like Bryan and Thompson, and those guys are still guys. It really comes down to what Coach Ford mentioned a while ago. The nuts and bolts of the offense, like that HVAC slide. Talk about that.
Obviously those guys are great players, but we've had people practicing under them for several years, so they've got to be in the background kind of and study under them. So they've learned the things that those great players have learned. Coach Ford talks about the little things, going back to sweeping the locker room. Everyone's got to do everything right. Doesn't matter if you're on the field, off the field. We're always jogging in between the lines. It's the little things to build up to be great players like Timmy Brown and Keon Wallace. They've done great things while they were here, and so we got to have guys that will step up in those positions, and I know we have them, and it's going to be a great year with them filling in at those spots.
You guys just got new turf put in. How's that feeling on the field? Like playing on the grass at home or the turf?
No, that turf's great. It's great. We appreciate the people that have installed it and the Effingham County for putting it in for us. We appreciate it.
Anybody else? Coach, how big's that locker room?
Oh, gosh.
I know.
Yeah, I think it's the same one Dr. Ford got dressed in 1987. Probably the same one Coach Lonham got dressed in 1962.
You guys come. Let's give it up for Effingham County High School. Well. Are these set up the right way for you? You want them right there like that? Okay. All right. So we've heard from South Effingham, Richmond Hill, Effingham. We're staying out in the counties. We're going over back to Bryan County. Coach Sherrod Freeman. I got to tell you this, Coach. You got a lot of excitement with the Bryan County Redskins last year, doing what you did and winning those games, and it's up and rising over there in Redskin. Well, I'd say Redskin. I'm sorry, but you guys are doing a great job. Great coaches, great kids. So up now, Bryan County High School, the Redskins. Team is ready. John, I'll get the names right. Whatever you want to do. Share this with the guy next to you. Okay. Slide up a little. You guys will share that mic. So if they ask you a question, yeah, that's the TV. So just, somewhere around, so they'll pick you up.
when you guys talk, can you just turn this mic towards you?
Yeah, just turn it so we can pick it up.
All right, Coach. This is your fourth year?
Going to my fourth year.
Going to your fourth year at Bryan County High School. So we're going through spring and summer again. Give us, somehow summer, spring and summer, and talk about what's going on for the Redskins this year.
We didn't have a spring practice this year. We chose to take the 2 scrimmages. We had a great summer. We averaged about 40 to 45 people every day this summer. We had a great turnout in the weight room. Coaches showed up. We did a great job with the boys. We had boot camp, where we had the military come in and support us and work the kids, taught some discipline, leadership, characters, some of the things that happen that they do in the military. Had an obstacle course where they did ROTC stuff, did a lot of team building. But I'm excited about this year. We got a good group of seniors. They came a long ways. I mean, their first year seniors, we went 0-10. And I always told them that if they just hang in there, they're not going to be puppies all the time. We're going to turn to big dogs, and eventually that doesn't happen. That dedicate themselves to the weight room. They listen, competed, and they actually believed in what we done. We got a good group of seniors. We got 22 seniors this year, so I'm excited about that. They last day we had a scrimmage game, competed well. Got some younger guys involved. I'm proud of them. They accepted the challenge over the 4 years that we competed. This is Ethan Cromley, play wide receiver. Jed Lewis is a center. It's Carson Nunn. He play outside linebacker, cornerback, safety, fullback, halfback, wingback. Where we really need to play. So we got a very versatile group of seniors. We can move around all over. I mean, I guess they've been in the system for the last 4 years. So we can kind of move what we want to move them to.
Yeah, like our freshman year, we. Our freshman year, we did our best, but you could tell like we were not ready yet. And then sophomore year, we got a little bit better. Junior year, a little bit better from there. And then now this year, I feel like it's like our year to do what we wanted to do our freshman year.
Yeah, we sucked freshman year. I'm not gonna lie to you. We sucked. Yeah. And then sophomore year, we won 3 games. We haven't won in a while. And then last year we went 6-4. We made it to the playoffs, but sadly lost first round. But come back this year, get back to the playoffs, and win games in the playoffs.
Can you see a change? Did you see a change between freshman and sophomore years at the program?
Oh yeah.
Taking the right steps?
Oh yeah. We just follow what Coach Freeman said. Guy in the weight room, this stuff after, and just play ball.
I came in junior year and I was just welcomed into the family, and I didn't experience all that loss, but I kind of felt it with everybody that was there, and they kind of welcomed me in, and I just adapted.
You guys had last year recruiting Austin Cummins. You lost him with an injury. Is he on the road back?
He's back. He's healthy. He broke his leg last year, 3rd game of the season. And but he's back now. Everything's good to go. No, he didn't require any surgery, so he's good to go. We're pretty healthy right now. We're gonna try to stay that. We want to stay that way, and we're trying to right now. We're trying to be a depth. We know what our first group can do. We really know what our first group can do. We're trying to build depth with our second group and our third group. So that's the main thing that we're trying to do now. We're trying to build depth this week. Last night's scrimmage, I think our ones might play 1 quarter. We'll let our 2s and 3 play the rest of the game. And then next week's scrimmage, we're going to try to do the same thing. We're just trying to build depth right now. He's going to play linebacker for us this year. He's going to play fullback for us this year.
He'll play nose guard. He'll play wing back. He just play where we need him at. That's one thing about this group. They've been with me for 4 years, so they understand the system defensively, offensively, so we can move people around. They understand everything that we're trying to do, which is make us a good football team. Yes, sir. He playing kind of same role that Carson. He plays safety for us. He plays outside linebacker for us. He plays fullback for us. Play halfback for us. He played wing back for us. He's starting at linebacker right now. I mean, we got a real versatile group, so I'm really excited about that. You know, we just moving around now.
You said the first team the other one.
Yes, sir.
So tell us about the excitement in the schools. You know, we know that Greenberg is moved on, right?
Yes, sir.
But she was a rah-rah cheerleader. So yeah, swing that mic towards Coach. Tell us how you as a coach can see that excitement finally coming back into that school.
Well, being from where I'm from is from Lincoln. That's kind of what we kind of used to, like the excitement, the school getting involved with everything that's going on, the community getting involved. You know, last night we had a couple people tailgating at the football game, which is what I envisioned years ago that we wanted to get there. We got now it's this excitement. We got people wearing our shirts around the school. People excited about coming to the game. Ticket sales are going up. We got student passes being sold. So it's excitement going on, and we're excited about it.
You've seen it. And you're excited. You spend what weeks to the football team that the student body and the community is coming around.
When we first started as freshmen, no one, there was maybe 40 people at a game, and the school was like, oh, it's just another Friday, you're going to go out there and lose. And now I feel that they decorate the school, or they wrapped our doors and stuff. People tailgate. There's hundreds of people at games now, and people are just excited. You can feel it in the atmosphere.
You guys up another night?
Yes, sir.
What's the roster numbers been like the first year there?
When I first got there, I was told they were averaging 18, 19 kids. So our first year there, we had maybe about 30, and 20 of those were freshmen. And then last year, my second year, I think we had about 39. And then this year, we're sitting right at 51 kids on the football team right now. So the numbers have went up every year, which is good, which is what we want. So it's moving in the right direction. Yes, sir. We don't need them. We don't have any more lockers. So, but they did make what I'm excited about is the growth that's going on in Bryan County. We got new. The board has put in new baseball fields, softball fields, track, weight room bigger. We got a state-of-the-art weight room right now, and it is beautiful. We can get all our team in there lifting weights. We don't have to put them in there in sections anymore. So we got a room big enough where everybody can lift weights. And I just want to thank the board. The board has done an awesome job supporting us and trying to help us get what we need.
What do you expect in terms of were you expecting higher enrollment? Are you guys ready for that? What's kind of been the thought process?
As a coaching staff, we talked about it. I mean, we just don't know how it's going to go. We don't know if we're going to get several kids in. If we do, we don't know if we go AAA, AA. We don't know which way they're going to go. We don't know if they're going to go towards the Effingham or Pembroke, Statesboro. We don't know which way they're going to go. We talk about it. But I know that we're going to get some kids. We just don't know how many we're going to get. We're going to get athletes. We could just get several kids that don't want to play sports, They can really hurt us. We can be 5A with 40 kids playing football. We just don't know what's going to happen. We don't know.
Jet. Second? Jet. Jesse. You talk about the freshman year, what that was like, and then I'm going to ask you this, pass my quick for you, and the same question. The question is from then to last year, one or two plays in Heard County, the first round of playoffs, one or two plays from beating them. That close to the second round playoffs in high school football, that's a big deal. What do you think it's gonna take? Like, I know you can say, well, we gotta get better, but what in particular, X's and O's, all that kind of thing, what do you think you got to do a little bit better to make that next step?
Compete, basically. I think we were just nervous last year because, first playoff game we ever played, and the crowd was going crazy. We couldn't even hear ourselves in a huddle, and we were getting messed up. But I think if we go back, we know what we got to do it, like the win this time. So I'm ready. I'm honestly ready to go back and compete in the playoffs. Second, third round, all that.
I feel like that some of the things that we got to do is, like Jay says, compete. We made some mistakes. I don't know if just jitters, but I feel like that we're moving in the right direction, and I feel like that once we're given the opportunity, if we give the opportunity again, we'll be okay. I just think we just made mental mistakes, and we had some guys that was kind of new to that situation, and just things that we didn't do early in the season that we did that game, like stepping with the left foot when we should have been stepping with the right, but just little small things that kind of kept us from winning that football game. But I think we'll be okay. We got it corrected. So right now we're just working on, like I said, we're trying to build depth. If that ever happens again, we can have some young guys in the game.
All right, Coach, great job. And like I told you when you came up here, people are following Bryan County football. It's no longer like just coming in and said at the beginning. You're doing a great job. We appreciate you coming in, and we'll be following Redskins. So let's give it up for Bryan County High School Redskins. Oh. So we got 4 down. We're coming up to the 15. First team out of Chatham County. I mean, you can't say enough about this man. This man has been at Bethesda since day one, starting his 17th or 16th. Starting his 21st at Bethesda Academy. He does a great job. He is what you call a player's coach, and he's more than just a coach there. He's the deacon, he's a teacher, he's a mentor, and he's a role model for those young men over at Bethesda Academy. Up now, Bethesda Academy Blazers football with Coach Antoine Turner. Give him a hand. All right, so just like you're going to control the mics for the cab for the TV, so when they go to this end, just slide them that way, back and forth. And when you talk with Coach, you got that mic, just keep it, so we can hear it, okay? Don't be shy. All right, Coach. 41 years here, 16 as the head coach?
Yes, sir. 19 as a head coach.
Excuse me?
19. 21 years at Bethesda, 19 as a head coach.
19 as the head coach?
Yes, sir.
I wish Georgia High School Historian Association would put that
Yes,
But
sir.
anyway, you've been through many springs, many summers. Give us your recap of what happened in spring football and getting ready this year for the season, and then introduce your players.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you, Coach DeMasi, and thank you, Optim Orthopedics, for hosting this event. Really giving these guys, coaches in the community, an opportunity to have a media day is very special, and we really appreciate that. We've had a phenomenal spring. Guys have been working very hard. We had a great summer. We've done a lot of 7-on-7s. We've gone to NC State this summer. We've also gone to University of Georgia to compete, and just trying to give the guys a lot of exposure and opportunities to compete. As we do 7-on-7s, we've been working hard in the weight room. Our guys have really been putting in the work. These guys that you see up here now, of course, have been in our program since freshman year and some 8th grade years. And so to see these guys up here as seniors today is very special. These guys have put in a lot of work throughout the year, throughout the summer. We had an opportunity, of course, in the scrimmage on yesterday, Frederick Academy, which was a good scrimmage. And for us, we don't look at wins and losses during scrimmage. You look at development, but Frederick is always personal. It's always good for us to have GA State competition and continue to compete in the state of Georgia. So it was very good for us on yesterday to have that scrimmage and to continue to prepare for our season. So we're very excited about the year. These guys, again, they started as 8th graders. And, some of these guys are just really Tristan Randall, along with Michael, had a chance to play as 8th graders, and Tristan was there as 8th grader to be in our state championship run 2018. So, and then also sophomore year, they were now starters in our program, and we went all the way down because we had some transition in the program. So these guys had a chance to see the ups, the downs, and we had a great year last year, and now try to get us back to the top. It's been a great journey, and so we're very excited about these guys. They were, as one of the coaches said, they were pups, and so now these guys are the big dogs. And introducing to my right here, our wide receiver, all-around guy, punt return specialist, plays safety for us. Yesterday played a little linebacker, is Thomas Peters. To his right is our quarterback. He's thrown in the fire. He's played center for us. He was actually our starting center at his 9th grade year. He's played guard. He's played tackle. He played tight end. And then finally we said, all right, son, let's try this position. And he became our quarterback his sophomore year, and he's really been leading the charge. Very high IQ of the game and been a phenomenal player for us. He also starts middle linebacker for us. He's our kicker. He, again, is an all-around guy for us. And next to Tristan Randall is Michael Henley. Michael Henley had a chance in the state championship game. One of our linemen went out. You know, as 8th grader, you're just glad to go. You're just glad to be on the sideline. You're just glad to be in the atmosphere. And we tapped Mike on the shoulder to say, buddy, you really got to go. We need you. And he had the opportunity to play. And so he is strong as an ox, been in the 1,000-pound club since his sophomore year. He's squatting over 500. And the other day, he just got 3 on the bench press. And so just a phenomenal guy. He's going to lead the charge, offensive line, defensive line. And he played position, guard, tackle, wherever we put him, he's an animal. So we're glad to have Michael Henley. I thought we did well getting to the football at moments. Our defense, I thought, did a really good job. We had some early turnovers in the scrimmage game. You're going to have false starts. You're going to have holdings. You're going to have turnovers, all of the above. So it seemed like first quarter just was a long quarter. Our defense was on the field entirely too much in the first quarter. We put the ball on the ground. It's hard to get things going offensively. And finally, we were able to get some things going. We were able to pick our spots. I was very encouraged to see our guys really work hard. They got the ball in the 20-yard line. We stopped them. They didn't score. They got it again on the 40 because of a turnover. We stopped them. They didn't score. They got it down at the goal line. We stopped them. They didn't score. Even though we gave up 2 turnovers, we also had 3 turnovers that we also were able to have. And they finished. I thought we finished the game really well because we hadn't beat Frederica since 2015 in the game. So yesterday, having our second-tier guys in the game, second half, being able to pull out the victory 2014 was good for the guys. Doing great. Good to see you again.
Every year that I've known you had like a key phrase or word or something, kind of a theme for the guys. Each football season, and it can come from anywhere. Do you have one for this season, or what is it?
So for these guys, it's funny you mentioned that. We started with no doubt. Because their sophomore year, we had a transition in our program, had 7 starters to leave, and these guys had to pick up the torch as young men, and it was a tough season. And we told these guys that this was going to be the year of a down payment, but don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself on the field. Don't doubt yourself in the classroom. Don't doubt yourself in life. The next year, we said, okay, well, we're moving from no doubt confidence to where we now got to take this to the next level. So next year with these guys, we talked about next level academics, next level on the field, next level off the field, next level picking up paper and trash, as one of the coaches mentioned. And this year, we've shifted from next level to now we want to turn up the heat. Of course, you know, it's extremely hot in the city of Savannah. How in the world do you want to turn up the heat? But we believe now we've got us 211 degrees, as they say. Water is hot. But in order to get to the water to boil, it's 212 degrees. That means we've got to turn it up one more notch. That's our motto this year, is we want to turn up the heat. When we hit the field, we want to turn it up. We want to turn it up in the classroom. We want to turn it up on the field, off the field, in every facet of life. So these guys have been buying into the culture of what we're doing here. Everything we do is about culture. It's about turning it up a next level. If a guy's leading practice, he automatically knows he's got bear crawl. So it's like, now let's turn up the heat. We shouldn't have to tell you, if you want this as a leadership group, these guys are doing a phenomenal job leading our team. Now put the onus on yourself, the accountability on yourself, because if it gets to us, it gets double. So we've been doing, these guys have been doing a phenomenal job just holding each other accountable. And this year, we just want to turn the heat up one more level.
Often lost to other schools transfers that have gone on, played other places. But this year you got one coming in from Calvary Day, right?
Yes, sir. Cameron Lanigan is outside linebacker for us. Also play a little guard for us, and phenomenal player, very physical. Yesterday did a phenomenal job of scrimmage for us. He's got a very good IQ of the game of football, and he'll be a great addition for us. So he's coming in, he's starting already, and he's hitting the ground running. So we're glad to have Cameron.
Freshman on the team now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Jaden Turner is a freshman on our team. Last year he was a return specialist, starter, 8th grade at receiver, also at quarterback. This year he's worked himself in the starting lineup at receiver for us. He also plays quarterback, so he's number 9. It's a pretty neat experience. Coach Chris is our offensive line coach. He's back in the back filming because his son now is a senior, so he's mentored me on how to be a coach, parent. But well, I stay the same. I believe it's important. Growing up, I would not coach him because how to ride a bike. I was coaching, and I was a little too hard. And I'm get up, So it was. I had to realize, do I want to be coach or do I want to be dad? And for my sons, I wanted to be father. And so now, until they matured and got to the place to where he wanted me to coach them, so now he desired for me to coach him. So he jumps right in, and we understand how to separate it at the dinner table. Where the dinner table, I'm dad, but on the field, he respects the fact that I'm coach. And it's been a great process so far. I also have my second son is a starting quarterback for 8th grade. He's 8th grade starting quarterback, so he's been up playing a little varsity as well. So just been a phenomenal experience. So we're excited to have him on board, and I think you'll be hearing a lot of him in the near future.
And this goes to Tristan, okay? Tristan Brandon. Chris Brandon. I don't know if you told me back, I know he was his coach. Okay, so you started out as offensive lineman. He was always an offensive lineman, right? So if you had to go one-on-one with him, who's winning?
I got me every day.
But anyway, you've been part of this program for you. Tell us how freshman year now to go to senior, how this program has grown for you.
Well, freshman year, I was a center. I just got in the role anywhere I could play. And then sophomore year, I got thrown in the quarterback, and me and Coach, he had so many meetings. I was like, I don't want to do this, Coach. But he saw something in me that I didn't. And I'm thankful that he did, because now I can see where I really matured and understand the game.
I saw the center. That was too slow. That's good. So, name again?
Thomas.
Thomas, what grade?
Senior.
Senior. So you come along the same round as Tristan. So tell us what this program has meant to you, what it coaches you.
Well, this program has actually meant a lot to me. I've been here since a little kid. My brother used to go there, so to come up now, to experience this, it's a good experience. Coach, great coach. He goes. We got our 5 core values: accountability, unity, discipline, integrity, and toughness. It's a lot easier to lead when your coaches do the same thing. So it's been a very great experience to be here and grow.
Senior.
Yeah. I remember when we threw him way back in there, Coach, as a freshman. He's come a long way. He's grown into a great player. So tell us, you being a senior now, how are you getting these young ladies to follow you guys' lead?
Just lead by example. Basically, just do everything right. Try not to be one of those followers. You got to be a leader, and just make those other guys better by showing them what I can do, by being in the weight room, or being on the field, or being there to help those guys. Just be there for them. Yeah.
He's at GIAA now, the Georgia Independent Athletic Association. You don't play in the Georgia High School Athletic Association. What's the experience like being the only team playing in the South Carolina Independent School?
It's very different. I say that. It's fun too. It's not easy by far. It's very, very competitive. And it's a lot of rocky roads that you got to go through. But yes, it's great playing out there.
Yeah, like Mike said, it's not just a walk through division. We got to fight for every win we can.
Like the guy said, it's not easy, but I feel like we come out here, we compete every time, and then even the games that we lose, we use that as motivation to keep going harder. So it's like they said, it's not a walk in the park, but we still come out and we play hard every single time we go out there.
Yeah, it's all right, but we about to get this new field, so yeah, so it's all right for right now. So next year we're gonna be on our own turf.
Well, our focus right now is to win game one. We believe if we can win game one, then our next focus is going to be to win game two. So we want to be 1-0 every week. And so our goal, we ask these guys to establish their goals. There is nothing that these guys can't accomplish if we play together, we work together, and we walk in those 5 principles that Thomas just named. I believe that these guys can achieve whatever goal they desire. So to answer your question, we're not going to back down from anybody. Absolutely. We're trying to go for it.
Guys, you're not the outsiders. You have something? No, it's okay. You're not the outsiders. People are following Bethesda Academy, so you might be playing South Carolina Independent League School Association. We're following. We got your back. Just keep on doing a great job because you got a great man to follow. Give it up for Bethesda Academy players.
Last year, these guys talked about bowling. I just want to let you guys know we did it again.
Do I see Bradwell? There we are. All right, so we're running a little behind, so the people that are coming in, just bear with us. Little technical difficulty, plus our TV media got thrown a curveball, so they have to come a little later. So Bradwell Institute, down there on the road there in Liberty County, they're always a tough team to play. Coach Sean Brock's been there for 6 years. This is your 3rd season. Okay, 3rd season. They're playing a tough region, Effingham, South Effingham, that group. Oh, you're 5A? Yeah. Oh, so you were Jenkins, so at least you got someone close by. So, but they deserve the recognition. They're right down the road. So let's give it up for the Bradwell Institute Tigers and Coach Brock with his players. Wow. Yeah, they have to slide behind. Oh, let's get the stadium chairs. Just don't break them. You guys, slide it down, slide it down. All right, so Coach, you share it with these guys. Okay. You guys will share that mic. Slide in closer so I can see here in the frame. And then if you have to hand it behind you, you want about that far away, so you know the deal. Okay. All right, Coach, you going into the 3rd season?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell us about the spring. Tell us about the summer practice, and introduce the crew.
Definitely. Well, to my right, let's introduce the players first. We have Christopher Garrett, CJ, our quarterback. Tyon Jones to his right. Zay Thomas, two-way player, corner, wide receiver. Bryan Thomas. I have Elijah Thurman and AJ Wathour, who control the trenches for us. We've had an exciting offseason. Brought the kids back in January on the 10th, and they've been grinding hard since then. We had a good success in our spring game, had a good outing versus Windsor Forest. I had a couple of days off for a week off, and then we went right back at it. We had several camps over the summertime, took the boys down to Florida State. They did a real good job down there competing. Over 100 teams down there. We're the top 4 going into the tournament. We also had a good showing down in Camden. And since leaving Camden, we've been working on ourselves, trying to fix the minor things, getting ready for a successful season, a better outing than we had last year. We feel like the time is now for us to come into our own year 3. A lot of these guys are returning veterans from last season, so we have high expectations for ourselves.
Coach, how would you evaluate the region you're playing in this year?
We have a very tough region. Defending state champions, Ware County's in there. Coffee is in there. Jenkins right down the road. They do a great job. Also, Statesboro, have a new coach there. Historically, a pretty good program. And then you have us and also Greenbrier. We feel as if we're right in the thick of things. You have to take the ball, make sure you get 11 hands to the ball, and just play Bradwell football and play how we know we're capable of playing. And I think we'll be able to get the playoffs and be a contender in our region.
I was going to ask Coach first, how can you describe Elijah's style of play, and with all the a lot of coaches coming in, is it kind of helping indicate?
Definitely. We have over 30 Division I schools coming in the spring, so that allowed for a lot of other players who may not have gotten noticed to get seen. Other kids got offers by the publicity and spotlight that was put on them by Thurman. Elijah's a great kid to have. Great in the classroom, over 4.2 GPA, dual sport athlete, region player of the year, in basketball, average a double-double. And then he controls the line of scrimmage. He's the captain of the offensive line, helps to make the adjustments, but he's a team player. He likes to share the spotlight with his teammates, encourages them and champions them whenever they have success. And that's the type of teammate that you want to have, the type of leader in your program that you want to have as well, a consummate professional.
Not yet. Not yet.
Will it be during the season, after the season?
It'll probably be after the season's over with.
Players, can you kind of describe the culture that's been built now in year 3?
Culture is mostly just being able to work and then coming into where we've been from our tradition of having not really a good season the past couple of years. Coach Bryan implementing to us to able to get a stronger, bigger, faster, and then also being able to compete for a state championship wherever we play against whoever we play against. Well,
Coach. What was the question?
Can you repeat the question, please? I'm sorry.
Just the culture that has just been created over these last years.
Coach Brock's really been preaching to us, like he said, getting bigger, faster, stronger. He really wants us to compete, stuff like that. I don't know. He really said everything that needed to be said about the culture. So, but I really think that we could be contending for a state championship this year. After the spring game, we really did good. So hopefully this season is a big turnaround.
Is making the playoffs, would that be the only thing that can happen that we call the season success, or that other things that you have, when you would call the season success outside of the
No, make the playoffs is our goal, right? That's what we achieve for, because you play to win, right? So nobody goes into the season not wanting to play for the ultimate goal, which is the state championship. We decided to be there in December. But week to week, getting better, showing progress. I feel like that's a success. The kids have an opportunity to trade their talents in for college education. That's also a success. Every kid's not going to be able to play college football. I understand that. But them coming in as young boys, leaving young men, going into the workforce, becoming fathers, husbands, and productive citizens of society, to me, that's a success as well. But ultimately, we're judged by our win-loss record. And for us, the goal is to get into the playoff with noise, and that's our expectation.
The rivalry versus Liberty, that's a good one. I explained it like a real tough, grit game, like the whole week is going back and forth, social media, in person, it's a real competitive game, and we never take it too far to where it's beef off the field, because after the game we all cousins, Ron Golden, Carlos, so that was my cousin, so it's that. But on the field it's a battle, probably the toughest game besides Ware County Coffee, probably the toughest game the most intense game we play all year.
I believe that's probably one of the most intense games. All the players are hype over the week over it. I mean, we really take it serious, you know. I mean, they came up short last year, but I feel like that's the most intense game. We take it the most serious as almost every game. So that's a pretty intense week for us as players and everybody else. And then when we go into the game, we just keep it intense, keep that energy.
AJ,
Yes, sir.
Wallflower, there's a long line of wallflowers that come through that area in Liberty County. There's some other families that have been there for a long time, and there's a lot of like deep-rooted history with, regardless of some of the successes or lack of successes that Bradwell's gone through. There's some families and some great traditions there that have been there for a long time. Talk about that and that pride of playing in that county.
I mean, knowing all my cousins and stuff, it does feel pretty good to be here where all my family is. I love playing down here and stuff like that, but it's pretty good. I mean, it's a good culture. I love to come from it. I love my family and everybody that's came out of Liberty County. It's a good feeling.
And Chris, last year, 114, 176, 114, 176, 65% completion rate. Those are some really good numbers. It's hard to equate that with the struggle in the regular season last year. What do you think it's going to take to kind of feel that gap, take that next step?
Honestly, just consistency. You know, last year we had a lot of mistakes. We didn't execute very well in the run game or the pass game. But this year, I think we really put more emphasis on that, like with the blocking, with the gaps, all that, and getting the right reads, everything. We really broke everything down this year, and it showed in the spring game that we can go for 400 yards passing every game if we just execute, do what we have to do.
Coach Bryan, in the last couple of years, we've done our coaching sessions, and one of the things we've always talked about, of course, with Richmond Hill, it's called their game. They're off. I'm there at y'all's game, wherever you are. It seemed like to me there were a lot of times where you could say that play was there, or there was a drop pass, or there was a penalty on the other side of the field. Just that close to being from 0-10, 1-9, 7-3, 8-2. Where does that gap get?
I feel like that gap gets filled this year. I think we're right around the corner. And you're right, last year we didn't finish. We dropped the ball, so to speak, and a lot of aspects of things that we're doing. CJ had a great year. His percentage was very high. We had to fix the run game, also fix our defense. I think part of the problem was our depth. We're in a lot of games in the first half. An injury, and one injury away from having to put a freshman in to fill a role that he's not ready. For example, center, right? We lose our starting center week 3, freshman. Middle school football he played last year to get thrust into 6A football. I think we created more depth on both sides of the ball, and I feel like this year we do turn the corner and we fill that gap because I feel like you are correct. We were a player 2 away from going 6-4, 7-3. I feel like this year is the year that we do that.
Yeah, it almost answered my next question too. There were a lot of games last year. We went 6 or 7 games we had to lead in the second half at some point, and then the fourth quarter was just boom. What have you done? You almost answered the question then, but kind of expand on that.
Well, a couple games, like I take, for example, Coffee County, 21 points off special teams. So we really focusing on those areas where we, again, dropped the ball that we didn't execute properly. Filling the holes in defense, back end, like we lose our 2 main tacklers and Khalil Latimer and Joel Mobley. So having to fill that void and also have a greater focus in on special teams so we don't have those shortcomings like we did last year.
There were a lot of other D1 guys. Several other D1 guys on that team. It was a great team all around. And that was the first they made the second round of playoffs. It was the only time Bradwell made the second round of playoffs since you go back in the early 2000s. But this team's very close to being like it's those little fine things that you're talking about. You're in year 3 coming up. That's usually the year for a new coach coming in a program like this, where you say to yourself, this is going to happen, or what is going on? You and I talked the other day, and I see that grin on your face. Yeah. You and I talked the other day, and you feel like it's possible.
For them, a surprise. For us, it's more of expectation. We know what we're capable of if we just come and compete. We take care of business and we handle business and we do the things that we're taught to do on a daily basis. A lot of these kids in front of us right now, beside me right now, they have opportunities to play at the next level. Opportunity to play. UNC Pembroke just got an offer, picked up one at Kent State in the spring, and he has every offer under the sun. My son picked up an offer this summer as well. So have a lot of guys that have talent, they have the ability to play at the next level. Now it's time in year 3 to put the pieces of the puzzle together and let's get this thing going.
Ty, Old Field, Lucky Jackson Stadium, that place is huge. It hadn't been built in a long time. What's it going to be like to see? You guys can get more wins this year. What's it going to be like from the beginning of the season to the end of the season? I see it coming. From the beginning of the season to the end of the season, you see those roads get built up. What's that going to feel like?
It's gonna feel amazing, like, cause we got a huge stadium. That when it's packed, like the Bradwell Liberty game, when it's packed, hear everybody yelling, the intensity, the drilling, and everything. It's gonna feel amazing.
Anybody else? I got one question, Coach. Coach, like Charlie said, last year you're right there. This year, I mean, it doesn't look like there's an easy game on the schedule.
No.
Are these guys ready to handle those games?
I definitely think so. We hired a new strength and conditioning coach, Lewis Briggs, and he's put him through the ringer in the weight room. So definitely getting stronger day by day, stacking those bricks, holding each other accountable. They understand what the standard is, and there is no off week. But like the previous coach stated, we're just trying to focus 1 week at a time. Go NO every week. And we feel like we can be competitive every week, and then we have opportunities to win every week. Just got to take care of the little things. But we do have a tough schedule, and we welcome it. We don't run from it.
Coach, great job. I see the kids are practicing like you said, you got some really, really outstanding athletes. We wish you the best of luck. Thank you for being here. Once again, let's give it up for the Bradwell Institute Tigers. Come skip it, Coach. Okay, so the coaches that are waiting are a little behind, so bear with us. We're trying to get back on track. Now we go to our second school from the area. Excited to always talk about this team. I've been here for a long time, and everybody doesn't think that this team doesn't come to play football, but this is a team that is a little train that can, and they always put a good product on the field. They're always in the game. They don't quit. They play some really tough competition, and the guy leading them for this year, third season, coming in here, third season, has done a great job, and you can see how the kids love playing for him. Up next, Savannah Country Day Hornets football with head coach John Moore. All right, give a hand. Let's go.
Hey, Coach.
Yeah. So you're going to share this?
Okay.
Young man next. Right. And now.
Do I need to hold this up, or is it good? Just right. Okay.
You are going to be, so when they start talking for the TV stations, just take all three and go back and forth, okay? All right, so you guys will use this, so you know the deal, okay? I got you. All right? Here we go.
Don't even move that. I'll hold it up, and then I'll get it to you.
You got to move it. Okay, Coach, entering your third season, like I said, I give you a lot of credit because, you guys are always seem to be a team that to the outside, but you're really not, because you guys come to play. And that's a lot to your football expertise and dedication. So tell us about spring, summer, introduce these guys, and we'll go from there, and then we will start shooting questions.
Yeah, first off, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. Barton Mixon, our quarterback, to my right. Tyler Scott, middle linebacker, and Rooster Bing, O-line, D-line. We had a great off season. You know, went down to Valdosta Lounge, did a padded camp with them. Did a couple of 7-on-7s and just really been working all spring. You know, I played a challenging game in the spring game in Jenkins, and really just trying to get this team ready for this season. Any question? Junior, senior. Yeah, first year as a senior. Yeah, he's doing great. You know, we had a little schematic shift this past year. I took over the offense and was trying to spread us out more, put our playmakers in space. So that's been a transition, but it's been a fun one that he's embraced. You know, these guys have worked really hard all offseason. We finally have the numbers to kind of two platoon against each other. So practices have been intense, and you know, the boys are playing hard. 47 right now. We had 28 last year, healthy. So we had 28 healthy players playing last year with 2 seniors. So last year we all knew it was kind of a learning experience, and you know, it was hard at times, you know, to swallow our pride in some of those games. But the guys just kept working, kept showing up, and we just said, look, this year is practice for next year, and you know, they maintained that mentality all off season. They had a great off season with me, and then a great spring game. So I think we're ready. Region's tough, you know, especially us. We have maybe 300 kids in our whole upper school, you know, so that multiplier has us playing up in 3A, which we have no business being in 3A. But, you know, we embrace it. You know, these guys embrace it. We love the competition. The other coaches are great coaches, great team. So there's not going to be any game you walk in just like, oh, this one's a win. Like, we got to work our tail off every week and, you know, come out and play a perfect game and have a chance. Strengths, we're really kind of balanced, you know. You know, as I said, we had 2 seniors. So all these kids are growing up, and you know, we have a lot of really good role players across the board. So, I mean, Tyler on defense is amazing. To have him in the middle of the field, commanding the defense. You got Barton, who's a year older and more wise. You know, you got Rooster wreaking havoc on both sides of the ball. The other playmakers, Josh Washington, Keith James. You know, we have the guys to do the stuff. We just got to stay healthy and do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, last year, having only 2 seniors, we needed some young guys to step up, really. And, I mean, we did that. We stepped up, but we didn't have, like, the team chemistry we got this year. I think we can just have another year under our belt, and it makes us all closer and we're strong as a team.
Bringing back a lot of guys from last year. I mean, it's definitely going to help us out this year, benefit us better, and allow us to like play better. I mean, when we lost our 2 seniors, I mean, we knew we'd have a lot of guys coming back this next year, so we knew we'd be better. So.
I think just only losing 2 guys wasn't nothing, but having multiple guys who played last year who's experienced is going to make us a better team than we were last year. So I have no worries about us this year. I think we will be a great team all around. Our team looks very strong right now. Yes, sir. No, junior. Junior.
So we'll start with you. You know, we had Effingham County, South Effingham early. We got Richmond, Bryan County. We had Liberty County, Bradwell. You know, they all got one rival. You guys got to go Savannah Christian, Calvary, Savannah Christian. It's always a rival, and especially in the same region.
Right.
What's it like playing 2 rivals, not just one every day?
Oh, man, it's fun. I mean, just competition alone is always going to be fun, but having 2 rivalries and having just, you know, the fans in the state, you know, in the stands and the lights on you, there's nothing better than playing high school football on Friday nights. I mean, it's great.
And you watch Preparatory come in, take the program to the next level. Tell us about Coach, what he's going to do over the next 3 years.
Coach Moore has improved a lot. I mean, coming in, not knowing none of us, it just we've improved so much just by learning from, what he's been teaching us and the coaching staff he brought in. I mean, the program has literally just changed all around. The players are more smarter. We got more experience now with the film he brought in. It's just amazing with Coach Moore.
This guy was he's taking over the offense. What do you see him as an offensive coach now?
So, I mean, I think it's actually helped me because it allows me to see the weakness of the defense as opposed to only looking at the offense. So seeing it from a defensive side kind of have me almost feel like I'm learning with the defense what's open, where the ball's going to be thrown. So it's helped me a lot, I think.
And you had to take over some positions last year. So what was the transition like? How did you get the players to do like they did the previous quarterback?
Well, I mean, anyone knows you can't replace a guy like Barry. But I mean, I was a freshman when he was a senior, so I learned a lot from him. Learned how to handle a locker room, handle a team. So just following his footsteps, just doing what he did. And I mean, when we lost that big senior class, I mean, all the guys who came up playing were really my age, my friends. So I mean, it was easy for me to step in and just lead right away.
Yeah, I mean, it's an ever evolving process, but since I got there, we have a weight room, somebody in the weight room full time with the kids. That was something that was new. This will be our first year as the JV program, I think, maybe ever, I don't know. But they haven't had a JV, so we're starting a JV program this year and really just trying to do the things that it takes. We know it's going to be a process, and this is year 3, more expectations from myself, the coaching staff. I think we're ready for it. We're making all the right steps.
You find that no matter what kind of season you're having, at Calvary or Christian, all the kids know each other. Is it true you throw the right results out when you actually see that happen?
Yeah, well, the benefit for me is, I'm from Florida for 2 years, so it's not really a rivalry to me. I love the other coaches on the other side of the ball. They're both great guys, and these guys all train at the factory and stuff together. So they're friends. They're hugging it up after the game. So they say rivalry, but it's just good football between 2 private schools in the same city. And we look forward to it. I'm glad both games will be at home at our place this year. That makes a big difference. So we'll be looking forward to it.
A lot of kids go both ways. Who's from the line? Josh Washington last year really made a name for himself as a freshman.
Yeah.
Tell me about what his role will be this year.
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to platoon as much as possible. 2 platoon, that is. In practice, all these guys are only going one way. Brewster is the only one that will probably be going both ways, at least to start the season. Obviously, you'll have those big games, where Josh might have to come over and play some defense. But I think looking back on last season is like we would play teams really tough first half, and then we would just peter out because I was asking too much of certain players, So over the last year, we've really worked with developing some of those younger guys and trying to go 2 platoons so that we can stay fresh and last 4 quarters. And I think it's helped us, and it's helped the competition in practice. These guys are jawing at each other, going at it. It's created more competition. But to answer your question, Josh has been playing mostly receiver for us, and that's the plan. And returner.
Earlier about the player, you're going to reclass that this year. Where do you think you guys should reclass? And do you think it should go back to the single public private model?
Man, I have no idea. Like, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I don't even get too mixed up in it because last year or 2 years ago, I thought it'd be different. I didn't think we'd get 3A, but I've liked 3A. I mean, probably whichever way we go, we'll still be with Calvary and Christian and, playing the Savannah public schools. I saw in the paper the other day that we have the 3rd least traveled miles of any team. So that's always nice. When I'm home in my bed at a decent hour on a Friday night. And we have like 5 Thursday night games this year, which is crazy too.
So this is your 3rd year. You came in, you brought your family up here, you chat with your children with you.
Yeah.
So what's the spirit been like over the last 3 years?
It's been great. Coming in, taking over a program, there's going to be certain hurdles and certain challenges. And I think we're getting through all those, administration on down with myself and everything's positive and kids are loving it, enjoying practice, practicing hard. Now it's just time to go out there and play. And, we've been looking forward to this season for a long time.
Anybody else?
Sometimes coaches are really good players, but they might have maybe a little more hard time connecting with players that maybe aren't as successful on that level.
Yeah.
Do you have found yourself like adjusting, or is it just
Yeah.
you remember back when you were in high school?
No, I think having a child probably changed me the most, because now I look at everybody different. But it's kind of softened me up, like I give these guys a Friday off, which I never would have done that in the past. Let them enjoy a 3-day weekend. Yeah, that part, I've realized that kids are changing these days. You got to change as well. So, I coach everybody the same, from the best player. I probably rip Rooster at practice more than anybody, and he's our captain. So, I just coach kids the same and hope that they respect that.
Tyler, right? Middle linebacker. Okay, so tell us now, coaches going up the offensive side of the ball. You're going to have to be more captain on the field, middle of the field, you're like a quarterback. What do you expect from the defense to have the coach going on the other side?
I think that, coach is still going to expect us to come out and, play hard and, play, our type of defense, even though he's on offense still. And, even in practice, he's still, giving me tips and stuff and helping everybody on defense still, even when we need it. So, he's not just, limited on offense. He's also still, giving us, helpful pointers and stuff, to benefit us each week and get us ready for, the next game.
Anybody else? Tyler, you're also a little baseball, right?
Yes, sir. No, I only play baseball and football.
So baseball, which sport's going to be the future?
I like football, but I haven't decided yet, but I'll figure it out.
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah.
So, I'm a junior.
So what are you looking for your senior year there, Rooster?
I'm just looking to have fun at the end of the day. But our team, like I said earlier, our team's gonna be strong. But the main goal for me is just to, just ball out last year. Just to have fun with the guys. I can't recreate this, so why not go out with a blast? So that's the biggest thing with me.
Besides football, your experience at Country Day now?
Oh, my experience at Country Day is amazing. It's a great school all around. I'm getting the best education in Savannah, so yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Anybody else? All right, guys, we appreciate it. Look forward to seeing the one students here. Give it up for Savannah Country Day.
Good job, guys.
Okay, moving right along, trying to catch up on this time, but like I said, it's about the kids. So however long it takes. Next guy took over the job last minute last year. I know, knowing him personally, he probably added some excitement over there on Havisham. Got a year under his belt. Can't wait to see what he does in the second year. Next up, Memorial Day School Matadors with Jaha Taylor. Okay, so coach is going to use the mic. Now you're going to be in control. When someone's talking on that side, just take all three, go that way, and then that way. Okay. All right. You guys use that mic. Right about here. So just leave it on the table so we can hear what you're saying, and he'll slide it over to you when you're ready to go. Right. Let me get back here. Sorry, guys. All right, Coach. First year under your belt. I know it's a different hat because I watched them a lot of times on the sidelines. Coach, you had hanging out. So tell us, second year under your belt, spring football, summer practice, how it's gone for the Matadores.
Well, we attacked summer and spring together. We went straight into workouts right after our track season. And this year we had large numbers in the weight room compared to last year. I'd say about 80% of our guys made 90% of the workouts. That's a big change for what I seen last year. So that right there alone let me know the guys are locked in and ready for this particular season. And also throughout the year, we had a couple coaches come by and check on some of our kids, which gave some other kids hope that those coaches are also coming into our classrooms too. So our summer workout has really showed that we're getting prepared. We have the guys that's going to dedicate to football and understand that it's taking more than just what the coaches says. It takes just them to lock into and I guess you say commit to the summer workout because that's when it really counts. So I think our summer workout was really good, and I think it's going to help turn the program. And let me introduce my guys right here to my right. I got Joseph Barnes. He's our guard, and he's our O lineman. He actually plays whatever was needed from center to tackle. In the middle here we have Juju Zamora. He's our athlete. He actually led our teams in tackle last year. He also led them in catches, touchdowns. He was a silent leader. This year we're going to expect a little bit more from him. And on the far end, we have Big Juicy, Big Nate Nasty. Nate he's an exceptional athlete. Nate basically he does whatever on the O line, D line that we need for him. And, those are the guys who's going to be leading us this year.
Nathan Parker. Parker.
Big Nasty. So far we're sitting about 19 kids, and we're hoping to get some coming in once the school year starts. So right now we're about 19 kids. Well, about the same. This 19 is have some experience. Last year 19, they didn't come with any experience. There was freshmen or guys who haven't played the sport. But this 19 here, everybody has experience. Yes, we do. Tyler Kendall is our leader. Tyler Kendall, he had a very good year last year, racking up about 1,500 passing yards, about 12 touchdowns. And this year, just the numbers that he put up in the weight room has absolutely amazed us as a coaching staff. He dropped weight. He's about 200 pounds now. And I think he put on another 100 in the bench press. So he's about 255 he's benching about 255, squatting about 400. Just those numbers alone compared to last year, just let us know that our leader is leading the team.
Road warriors. You don't play many home games. What's that like as a football player? You don't play many home games.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of time and hours on the bus, which I think it helps us come more together because we spend all that time together. I think it helps us come more together as a group because we spend more time together on the road, on the bus, just experiencing laughs and getting to know each other better.
I think honestly being on the road, I feel like it's a great experience because you get to see different environments, different cultures and stuff like that. But I mean, honestly, just competing in general is really fun. It's a great experience for me. It's really new to me, so I feel like it brings a lot of camaraderie for us. Being on the bus for hours and hours. That's pretty much all.
I feel like it brings adversity to the team, get us out of our comfort zone, get us away from our field, takes us out, makes us play against teams at their field and their crowd, makes us want to play better and want it more.
Positive strides.
Positive strides. What you feel like I did for you and the team?
When Coach Taylor came in, just getting to know about his history in Savannah, playing at Jenkins and then playing at Savannah State, and knowing the great stuff that he's done for the community, it inspired me to try to do the same and go be a member of my community and show that Savannah has a lot to offer.
Since I moved to Savannah, I pretty much known Coach Ja, and he has been a leader for me since pretty much I moved here, which was like about 4 years ago. So I've seen him, bring up children, bring up people all around the area, and I mean he pretty much knows most of Savannah, so he brings excellence to the coaching staff. He makes all of us feel like a family whenever we play, and he pretty much brought me back to the sport last year because I honestly didn't see myself playing basketball nor football. He brought me back to the sport. He brought me to Memorial, so it's really a great opportunity, and he gave me this opportunity to further it and actually get myself out there.
I feel like he just brings more of an intensity to the team, makes us push ourselves farther, especially in the weight room, gets us going. He knows what to say, what not to say, to make us happy or push us to go farther. Yeah.
Anyone, if you want to answer this, I mean, looking at the schedule, there's really one true team that you play in from Savannah, and that's St. Andrews. What's that rivalry game like for one of you guys? Double duty.
So I didn't play St. Andrews my sophomore year. My family had COVID that year, but I played them my freshman year and my junior year. In my freshman year, I believe the score was 7-0, and that was a really tough game. Something about like just going at it with someone like that they're close. So there's always a little bit of trash talk and all that. It's just really fun to really get out there, get fired up, and go at it.
Oh yes, most definitely. I think it's going to bring some excitement. We're hoping that we can get some of the city out. We're going to try to make some noise, hype it up. It is our rivalry. So hope you guys are ready. Hope those cameras are fully charged because we're looking to bring the crowd out.
All right, so you're going into the second year. Tell us, as a coach, how you've grown compared to being an assistant coach and going to the head coach this year. What has John learned from that experience last year?
I just grew as a leader. Again, moving from being an assistant to an offensive coordinator to the head coach, it has its ways. There's a lot of things that I learned that I didn't know. And I believe just being the head coach and learning those things and taking that role and wanting to attack that role helped me not only for this journey, but any journey ahead. It's a lot of things that I still need to work on, but again, I'm taking that responsibility to learn that. So, just becoming the head coach has really, really just opened my eyes to a lot of new things that I'm prepared for.
Like I asked, Bethesda Academy over in South Carolina. You guys are playing with the Georgia Independent Athletic Association. Tell us about the competition in that league, which sometimes you guys get no credit for. Anyone you want to answer that?
So just being a football player, all competition is good competition. Again, we see it now, especially in college and in the NFL. If you're good, they're coming to get you. So really, it doesn't matter the conference you're in. If you have the players that actually want to play this game further, they're going to be out there. So I don't consider where we playing at a disadvantage or advantage because, again, as we know, we have athletes from the same division have gone on to play on some of the biggest platforms There is. So, again, for us, competition is competition. I don't see it as a conference or a different. I just attack the day. So that's what I really hang my head on. I consider everybody played the best opponent. So we really try to lock in and break it down and really treat them as if it's the Super Bowl.
Joseph Barnes, class of 2024.
Julian Zamora, class of 2024.
Nathan Parker, class of 2024.
Coach, wish you the best of luck, and I know you guys got Jaha, but he's really Raha. I mean, he's going to get you going. He's an energetic guy. I've watched him play. I've watched him coach, and you got a good guy over there. We wish you the best of luck. And we'll be following you. So let's get ready for Memorial Day School, Matador.
Thank you.
Okay, another school traveling up from Liberty County. Last year, pretty good season. The man took over a program in a tough situation. I think he's done a great job of what he had to do. And this year is going to be even more fun because he knows these guys. These guys know him. And he did a great job there at Liberty County High School. So coming up with his team, head coach Tony Glazier and the Liberty County High School Panthers. Give him a hand. Let's go. Oh, you only got three, so 1, 2. Yeah. Oh, let's take that one out. Slide these down a little. There we go. Here we go. It's all good. So you're going to use this one. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you the tough job here. So when they ask you guys questions, you can slide the TV mics over. Okay. And then this is the one you guys talk to, so it's on the internet. Okay. I'll ask you about the spring and summer and introduce those guys. Hey, Coach, we're done. All right, Coach Glazier, Liberty County High School Panthers, Region 3, Class 3, Region 3, Region situation last year came in, did a good job. So what I need you to do is tell us how your spring went, summer, and then introduce your players.
Yes, sir. First of all, thank you for having us today. Spring went really well. We had a really good turnout. Lots of freshmen coming up. We had 28 freshmen in spring, which is very uncommon for us. We lost a lot of guys off last season's team who were pretty good ball players. These two guys beside me obviously have been starting for us for a few years, so we're really using their leadership. And it's been a very good spring and summer, based on the numbers. Our numbers are up. Our commitment's up, and I think our boys know exactly what our expectations are, and they've been working to get towards those expectations. We went flawlessly from spring to give them a little time off, roll right into summer, right into fall practice. And it's been a seamless transition. We've been fortunate to be injury-free for the most part, which is always a good thing this time of the year. And I know we're looking forward to next Friday night we play Jenkins, being able to go get somebody else for a little bit. So, and beside me, I've got Ron Golden, all-region wide receiver 2 years in a row. He's also going to play some safety this year for us. And beside him, I've got Carlos Singleton, our quarterback. He'll be a 3-year starter, all-region as well. And he's been trying to talk me into letting him play a little safety this year too. So we'll see about that, but we'll work him in a little bit.
All right, guys. First question up.
The strength of our squad should be the veterans on offense. We bring back 3 offensive linemen off last year's team. Of course, we bring the 2 guys beside us. I got another senior wide receiver, Jeremiah Payne, who's had a really good offseason. I just think our offense is basically early on, we're going to be young on defense, but we're young. They're working hard. They're flying to the ball. Offenses hopefully can balance this out at the beginning of the season, get us rolling. Hopefully defense can catch up by the time we hit region. Yes, sir. We were the third seed. Yes, sir. So, everybody always asks, our schedule. Our schedule is very tough. I mean, we opened up with Southeast Bullock, and we went 3 years in a row to determine who won our region. We were together. Then, of course, we play the rivalry game in Bradwell, which is always really big. And then we played Pierce County, coming off them winning the state championship, and then we played them. And then, of course, with our region, I tell everybody we went and played Morgan County, and we beat them. Then we went and played Thomasville, and we nearly beat them. And I told our guys going to the Thomasville game, we've already played 4 teams better than this football team tonight, guys. I know we're a 35-point underdog, but I promise you that Pierce County, Calvary Day, and Savannah Christian is a better football team than this team tonight. We went out and played, and we ran it to the last second, had the ball at the end of the game, had a chance to win the ball game. So, like I said, I think our schedule helped prepare us for the state playoffs last year. I think we kind of know what to expect now. I mean, our guys last year, going on the road and playing in Thomasville is a very, very tough environment. It was a lot of fun. I know we had a lot of fun, but we also know going back and look at the film that we really do. I think everybody in that locker room felt like we should have won that football game that night, but we just didn't. And it's a learning experience for us. We move on and we focus on this season.
As Bradwell, there's about the rivalry. Kind of describe the week love. You guys play Bradwell, but it's like in school. The other students talk about after you get about the rivalry, what it's like on Friday night.
It's real competitional. The whole week at practice, during school, we got a lot of questions. Who gonna win? Who's this? Who's that? Who's the better receiver? Who's this? So it's a lot of computational stuff going on in school, outside of school, social media, stuff like that. So I mean, we treat that game like it's a Super Bowl in Hinesville. So it's pretty big down there.
Back to what he said, pretty much the same thing. But in our school, like we started making posters, a lot of posters about, like I won't necessarily say hate to the school, but like just showing like the energy we have for the rivalry. But pretty much, I don't like that's back to what he said. Like it's just like the Super Bowl.
Ooh, we've been ready since last year. Since we lost Thomasville game, we was ready for the next season. So, I mean, we've been working hard, training, getting stronger, faster. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to this season. I think all the players, teammates, been talking about this all summer. We're ready for the first game of the season.
And pretty much like after the season, we've been getting ready. Like some players will go off to the gym, putting in work in the weight room. We came back and what was it, fall, put in more work in. Like I pretty much think that everybody's ready for the season. Like we put in a lot of work. We hustle every day. Got trained more disciplined by the coaches. Like I think we're ready.
And you two are both seniors, right?
Yes, sir.
How long you playing together?
Me and him, we're first cousins, so we've been playing since we were like young.
Since you guys had the credit, right?
Yes, sir.
So what's it mean to know your first cousin or you playing your whole life? You guys got such good chemistry. Over 2,000 yards passing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You had like 800 of them? I mean, can you just throw the ball? You know who's going to get it. You know when he's going to throw the ball, you're going to get it. I mean, because I watched you scout, you guys were electrified. Okay? I mean, what's that chemistry like between your cousins?
I mean, it feels good. Like I got somebody I can actually trust that I know his family. Like we built a bond since we're young to where we're at now. So it's like I love the feeling. Like you can't go no wrong having a part of your family playing ball with you.
It's going way back since we was kids playing catch in the backyard, you know what I'm saying, throwing the ball to each other. I mean, it feels great knowing, okay, tell the quarterback, throw me the ball, I'm gonna go get it anytime, anywhere. So it's real nice. I have his younger cousin, my little brother, he's part of the team, he's a starter. So I mean, it's a lot of family chemistry going on. So it's a good thing that we got a bond, somebody we can trust on the team and stuff like that.
And I want to add one thing about that too. That's good, but also at times last year, because I called offensive plays, I had to remind Carlos at times you can throw to someone else other than Ron. But Carlos always tells me, "Hey, Coach, Ron's open," and I do agree. If he's in single coverage, he knows he can let it rip every time to this guy, because this guy's going to win more than he loses. But it's a fun dynamic. But I'll tell you, with them both being leaders, they hold each other accountable, they hold everybody else accountable. So it's very good. They have a very good relationship. Like you said, his younger brother Ryan started us for last year as a sophomore, and he'll also start for us both ways this year as well too. So.
Last time I was at the school, they had a celebration for Rayquan McMillan, Richmond County, Javion Mitchell. I know some of those guys might be a generation ahead of you. Makes me feel old to see that. But Blazer, I know you've been around there. Do any of those guys, being professional athletes and really being exceptional, has that influenced you guys? Have you seen that, have gone to their camps or clinics and seen tradition at Liberty County before you even got there?
Yeah, I remember middle school, elementary school. I'd come to the high school games, watch Raekwon, Richard, all them play. It's real inspiring to me. I feel like I got somebody that we can look up to as far as going pro, making it to the next level and stuff like that. So I really look up to them guys. They're a good leader. They come back, show love and stuff like that. So I really appreciate them doing the things they're doing for us.
Like looking at them and seeing what they did, it makes you feel like you could do the same thing. So it brings like a lot of encourage yourself that you can do what they can do.
And one thing on that, with those three guys you mentioned, like, I mean, when those guys are in town, because they're at the high school. I mean, Davion's in the gym all the time. When he's in town, he comes in there during the school day, takes pictures, see everybody, gives back. When Rich and Raekwon are in town, they're always there too. Raekwon was actually at a practice, what was that, 2 weeks ago? Because he actually came down and made a nice donation to the football program. We're actually getting a new weight room in our field house. I know we're looking forward to. Very generous of him just giving back. And every time he's there, he comes and he'll come there and work out with our kids, work out with them on the field. Those guys just do a good job of setting an example, like Carlos said, of where they can get to, Yes, sir. We're in our field house. It's really big. We really only can use one. We can use both sides, but really only need to use one side. So the other side is going to be a full weight room for us.
Well, guys, Coach Nancy was tough here. Coach has been on staff. He came in took over for a great guy, Coach Warner, and he had come under circumstances. Guided you guys to 7 to 5 season. Tell us what Coach did for you guys last year in that situation.
I really appreciate Coach. He stepped up. He became the leader that we needed, the coach that we needed, and it's more so a friend, a person we can lean on in times of the need of losing our head coach, stuff like that. So I feel like Coach was a great mentor as well. So I feel like he pushed us. He kept us on track whenever we was keeping our heads down or slacking. He was there to pick it up, bring the intensity, stuff like that. Practice on and off the field. So I really appreciate Coach and what he's done since Warner left.
In the beginning, Coach was very emotional about the passing of Coach Warner because, like, Coach Warner was the main person that brought him into coaching. He filled in like a big pair of shoes during that point. So I feel like he came a long way from that situation to where he's at now. Right now, like, it's really just shows you a lot about life, like how you can have some downs and pick back up from it. So I feel like he's done a good job.
Coach, tough season coming up. You graduated a lot, but I know you'll have those Panthers ready to go and open up South School, right?
Yes, sir.
You're not looking for a friend, right?
No, sir. No, sir. I tell these guys all the time, like, hey, it's one game at a time. I know they think their own thing, and they probably get to be tired of me telling them, guys, it's just one game. But, I'm more focused on getting to that 11th game. But I'll let them have a little fun with it, and then we move on. So, yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys coming up the road, and let's give it up for the Liberty County High School Panthers.
Thank you.
Yeah. We're gonna skip it because they're waiting for another guy to come on board. I know you. Yeah, you got it. Where do you want to sit? I'll get you. Oh, we need another chair, sorry.
Sorry, this one. Yes,
Yes, that should be. All right, so you got the tough job like you always do. So when you two are talking that way, when those two are talking that way, and then coach will share that microphone with you, you guys will share this microphone. You know, right here is good enough. You don't have to bring it up to your mouth. I just got to get behind you and introduce you. That's holding up.
Yeah.
All right, next up is St. Andrew's School out on Wilmington Island. Kevin Son enters his second year at St. Andrews, not his first year as a head coach. St. Andrews School had an exciting season last year. They got exciting players. 5-4, right?
5-5.
5-5 last year, and you want to watch some good football. Go out there to Wilmington Island and go out there in the marsh and go watch the St. Andrews Lions. Something else. Yeah, I know. Old school.
I asked D how many times you were going to say it.
I'm not going to say it. So, other than that, Coach, tell us about your spring. Tell us about your summer seasons, how they went. Of course, introduce the young men.
All right.
Come on, you dropped the ball
Already. First of all, Carl and Dennis and Nathan, everybody, thank y'all for what you do for high school athletes in Savannah, and what you do for the coaches as well. We've got phenomenal coaches in this city. To one of my best friends, Coach Britt at BC, Baker at Christian, Coach Stroud at Calvary. I mean, everybody across the board is just phenomenal coaches, and we appreciate that we get a chance to highlight the kids. Because of all the schools in Savannah, public and private, it can get spread pretty thin. So, again, we appreciate what you do. Anyway, who I've got with me now is a junior quarterback and defensive back, Zayden Edwards. He'll be a third-year starter for us. He was an all-region athlete last year. And just like most small schools, our guys are going to go both ways. We're going to put the players on the field, and Zayden's never going to come off the field. I mean, that's just how that's going to be. I've got a senior defensive end tight end, Ricari Harrison. He's a returning all-state player for us last year. He had 15 sacks in 10 games, which is pretty sporty if you're looking at stats and everything. So looking for him to have another year and just make plays. And then we have Matt Licata as a offensive lineman and linebacker for us. And he basically plays linebacker so he can get everybody lined up because he's the smartest kid we got. So looking forward to a good year with these guys. Again, we're battling what every small school battles, and it's numbers. During summer, if 3 kids aren't there, it messes up our whole plan, right? But we've had a good core group of guys that are there every day, and we've been able to get out on the field a lot more. The weather's been nicer to us this year than it was last year, as far as getting out there with keeping the lightning kind of at bay. Because if it drops one drop of water out on the marsh, it turns into a slop fest out on the field. But again, our kids, they've gotten out there. We're getting them to that point where they know how to practice, and there's a purpose with what we're doing. We run to the football for a purpose. We line up like this for a purpose, and they're starting to buy into that. And one thing that I told Nathan actually the other day at our media day was that we can coach these kids more to the edge than I would have thought when I first got here. We can push them to that limit and to that edge. And create a little bit of toughness, and that's what we're doing right now. So. Brazant. It sounds like it's got a Z, but it's an S. Right. Our starting wingback and you call him a hybrid safety. He's our backup quarterback, but he starts both ways. So that's. If you listed first through fourth quarterback, all start on offense and defense. So, Rashard Williams.
How would you describe Zayden style as a quarterback? Is he a dual threat guy?
Absolutely. No, absolutely. When we put the ball in his hands, every pass play we run is an RP, is what the RPO, right? He's got the option to run. And we had to tell him last year a few times, Zayden's a thinker. He's a thinker in football, right? In basketball, he doesn't think. He just goes out and plays. We're trying to get him to where he can just go out and play. Because he wants to be so successful and he wants to compete.
and doesn't want to make a mistake. And sometimes, that'll get him a little bit, but we want the ball in his hands. I'd rather, I don't want to throw to a lesser athlete. You know what I mean? I want the ball in his hands. And I'm never going to get upset if he takes off and runs the ball. We had a conversation last year against a team that in the third quarter that if he would just relax, he was going to have 500 yards of total offense. And he relaxed and he played, and he was the quarterback club player of the week that week. So when the game comes to him, it's pretty fun to watch.
You guys are out of order for the other day. We talked about the card Benedictine. You didn't play football.
No, sir.
How do you feel about football now? Is it something that you feel like you got? Did you play as a little kid?
I played at middle school, yes, sir. At Duran.
You missed? I didn't realize you missed.
Yes, sir.
Can you kind of talk about what it like?
Yes, sir. It was like playing football in middle school wasn't the same as high school, like, of course, but it was just the love of competing and the love for the game that I, missed out on. Going to BC, I really went to BC to play basketball, but, after I left, Coach P was like, you should come out and play football. And I was like, yes, sir, I try it out. And now that I tried, I had a, all-state season, so.
Yeah, right. Now he's getting recruited.
Anybody else in the hallways that you want to have them try out?
A lot of people in the hallway need to come out. I guess they're scared of contact. I don't know.
It's work. It's work. It's work.
We talked about this a little bit the other day. How does winning those back-to-back state basketball championships, two you guys are members of the team, how does that kind of translate over to football?
It's about like high motor, following key plays, listening to coaches, and just doing the right thing and outworking each other every day to make each other better. Having seniors and like key players on our team like Zayden and Matt, tell younger guys to, do this right. It's just the little things that we have to do right.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off that. Definitely winning those two state championships with the basketball team. I mean, seeing that it's a lot of fun. I mean, ultimately your goal is to win a state championship. And one thing I said on our media day, again, it didn't happen overnight. Coach Abrams has been there for, I think, 8-10 plus years, and it took him that long to get a state championship, let alone back-to-back. So being here, Coach P is his second year. I mean, he's made tremendous. First year is 5-5. Could have easily been 7-3. A couple small plays, 3 or 4 plays dictates our season. We ended up missing the playoffs last year, but this year I think we're back in that same boat. We can easily fall back to 4-6, 5-5, but our ceiling we can go undefeated or maybe even lose only 1 or 2 games. So it's a lot of fun, and like I said, it won't happen overnight, but it definitely can. We got some guys out here who's ready to work. We're working all summer, all spring, lifting weights, going outside, conditioning. We actually got guys out here who want to get better, wants to hit, wants the contact, and I think that's huge for us because last year around this time we were struggling to tackle. I mean, we scrimmaged last year against Hilton Head Christian, gave up 55 points, but we scored 50 points and lost. So yeah, but this year once again we scrimmaged them this Friday at 6 o'clock at St. Andrews, and I mean we're looking at our practice. It's totally different. We're moving faster. Guys are learning. We're tackling. I mean you're hearing a lot of pops at practice. It's really exciting. So it's gonna be a lot of fun this year. Hilton Head Christian. Yes, sir. 6 o'clock.
What would have to happen this year to say that this football season was a success?
Personally, I would say, first off, getting kids out. We're at 25, 26 right now. We can push that number to 30, 32, 31, 32. I mean, that's huge, especially getting those guys out. Definitely, the goal is to win. Definitely making the playoffs is huge this year. I mean, we missed it by 1 game last year. But like I said, it's right there in our hands. We just got to work for it.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Zayden said, just working for it, having Coach P coach us to be better men
and one day invite him to one of our weddings or kids' birthday parties or something like that, and to see us walk across that stage, knowing that we've learned from a great individual, uh, makes us 10 times better as people and as a team.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like Zayden said, we just want to win as many games as possible. Obviously, got kind of unfortunate last year, missed out on the playoffs, was out of our control. But I guess for me, it's my last year, senior year. I think there's no reason we can't host a playoff game, at least win a couple games, see how far we can go. But I mean, we want to take this as far as we can go. So, we're just going to take it day by day, game by game, and see how far we can go.
There's no saying, you might win with your wide receivers, your defensive backs, you win the game in the trenches. This goes to Matt. Tell us about the group that's going to be in the trenches for the Lions this year.
We have a great group of guys, really senior heavy. 4 of our O-linemen are seniors, entire D-line seniors. So, and we have young guys who are ready to rotate in and give guys breathers as we need, because we got a lot of guys playing a lot of snaps. So, I mean, everybody's just really ready to work hard. We have that experience under our belt. Playing together, we're starting to become more of a unit. I mean, everybody's got to do their job so that we can run the ball and throw and all that. So, but I would say the big thing is everybody's bought in to what we're doing. People are willing to, playing O-line is like a huge sacrifice. There's not a lot of glory behind it. And I think we have guys who are willing to, stick their nose up there and, make blocks for 60, 80 snaps a game so the guys behind us can have success. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, had this conversation with our big guys the other day. Like I said, last year we were our best week 4, week 5 when we started rolling. That's when we started to be able to run the ball. So being that they're all seniors, I was telling them it's on y'all. I mean, y'all have to move that line. So if they start moving the line, we can run the ball. That'll open up the pass even more. And then if we get into that rhythm earlier, I mean, it'll be fun.
Something special. You grew up and you guys knew each other without even looking at each other.
Yes, sir.
What's something like without having Zaire out there doing whatever he did, wherever coach stands put him?
Right. Yeah. First off, it's gonna be different in the school, man. He was huge. He was. I mean, if you think of St. Andrews, you thought of Zaire Edwards. So losing him as a person it's gonna be different. Let alone on the football field. I had 1,500 passing yards. He had 1,000 receiving yards. So that's insane. But it's definitely gonna be different. But I think we've got guys to necessarily replace, for lack of a better term, those seniors. Like Ethan Wilkins, we have Jack Kelly's an upcoming freshman. He's going to have a big season. Plus Rakari at tight end. We got a transfer sophomore, Amari Cook from BC. He's going to fill in that role where Zaire is, and Rashad Williams is going to have to take on a big role. Mentally he's got to pick it up, but physically he can easily have a 1,500 yard season. So it's going to be different, but it's going to be fun. I think we're going to be good this year.
Those guys got to step up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Coach, you're number 2.
Oh, sorry, Dave. Today's kind of a unique for you and some of your former co-coaches.
Yeah.
Did you have overlap? I know you coached under Dave. Did you have overlap with Baker?
With Baker, yeah. I coached with Baker for 3 years. And he actually, when we first got here, he's the one that introduced me to the church that I go to now and everything like that. So, yeah, I was with Baker for 3.
What they were like, also how you kind of working up maybe a scrimmage, no TV cameras or anything.
Not quite yet. Not quite a scrimmage with BC and Christian. Coach Britt's got installed since in the 10 years that I've known him. Britt's softened up a little bit. He's not. But he's softened up a little bit. Doesn't wear ties anymore. Wears Jordans with his suits and everything. He's cool now. He's real cool. Britt's real cool now. But no, Coach Woodward, he's one of the best human beings that I know. He's a great man, and I think he does things absolutely the right way. Not saying anybody else doesn't, but it's. I'm a big admirer of him and who he is as a man and how he does things.
What's your title when you guys all
I was a math teacher, but I was special teams coordinator, and I coached I was one of we called it the dagger, but I coached the daggers. I was the outside linebackers. And then when Baker left, I took the job at Christian. I became the assistant head coach and defensive backs. So.
You got 1 year under your belt. What are your expectations this year?
I don't like putting like the goals, expectations of that we're going to win this many games and we're going to do this. We put ourselves in a position to be successful, then we're going to go, which we were last year. I mean, if you count it, we were legitimately 3 plays from making the playoffs, and we were 5 plays from hosting a playoff game. We didn't do what we were supposed to do on 3 plays, and had we just given the effort of what we were supposed to do, we would have been there, right? But again, it was my expectation is that I was telling Coach Stroud earlier, we're learning how to practice, right? And it is, we run it, but I feel like the only thing I ever say in practice is sprint and run and get to the ball. That's literally, I think, the only 3 things I say the entire time. But they do it, but I'm constantly going to enforce, because if you do it enough at practice over and over and over, it's going to show up in a game. So I'm looking for consistency and knowing how everything you do is important. Period.
I know guys that stay more than time and we've asked all the other schools this rivalry. And it seems like the only other school in the area is St. Andrews. What's that rivalry? St. Andrews, Memorial Day School. What's that rivalry mean to you guys?
You got it.
Yeah. Keep it short. Like Coach P just whispered, it's not 7-on-7. I think the media got involved last year, and it wasn't a pretty turnout. So I would just say, like I said, we're taking 1 game at a time, but that's definitely a game that's circled on our calendar. But like I said, 1 game at a time.
Anybody else got any questions, Coach? All right, I appreciate you guys coming, and like I told the other schools that played in GIA, it's season that, believe it or not, people are watching it, people are following it. Makes the crowd. I know this year you're going to get that playoff game and do some good things. Let's give it up for the St. Andrews School Lions.
Thank y'all for what you do.
Well, this is last year. This is freshman year. Oh, fresh. Sophomore year, we get that in September. Oh, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Then you're fresh. Right. I thought you were first report. When I get my shit, I'm just going to hold up.
Have a seat.
The crew. The crew.
So when you guys talk, you'll just shift the mics around.
Cool.
These two right here.
No, you don't. You're going to share it. So
Okay, I got you.
it's your job. So when you and Coach talk, keep it there. When Jake and John talk, right? I see you in the uniform. All right, turn it down. Okay, it's your job. Let me get behind you. Let's introduce you. You got a little loud over there. Okay, next team up. We have a switch. Everybody's here. Thank you, Coach Brazant, for doing that. What can I say about this next guy? Seniority, elder statesman. Proud that my son got to play for him. He definitely is a player's coach. Mild-mannered, but you know when he's ready to talk to you. Does a great job over 31 years as a head coach, and it's not perseverance with him, it's love for him for this game. And I still think he's got another 31 years left. But anyway, up now, Calvary Day School Captain's head coach, Mr. Mark Stroud. Great. All right, Coach, to kick it off, which you've done many times before, tell us how your spring went, tell us how your summer went, and then introduce these young men.
Yeah, we had a great summer. We had tremendous participation, very good vibe all summer long. I think our guys enjoyed working, enjoyed suffering together, enjoyed just such a vibe of guys trying to make the guy next to them better. We started getting that, and things started going well. So we had a great summer, great spring. We did all our spring testing at the end after the summer workout. Had some great results from spring testing. Did the combine type stuff. That was our spring, and then fell right into the summer workouts. Like after the spring, like I said, those were tremendous, and right into the first scrimmage last night, which was a great showing for all the guys. So a lot of fun. Again, great vibe. Dodge County, yeah. Went well. I mean, we Dodge County's just got a new head coach, a guy coaching in high school, Thomas Smith, and Dodge they've been a little down the last 2 or 3 years. They were once a team that you never wanted on your schedule if you could help it. But they've been down the last 2 or 3 years. And, he's really trying to get things going over there. So they weren't quite the Dodge of old, but had some really good skill guys, and just were a little deficient on the fronts. But our kids came out and played really well, played really hard. We played our older guys for the first half and won one series the second half. So those guys got some quality film, and then we got a lot of our next guys in. The next guys got to be up in, which was really good for us to get those guys on film. It's really to see who can play on Friday night. So it was a great scrimmage situation for us because our older guys got to play and perform well. And then we got to see a lot of our second guys and some of our third guys. Like, can this guy play on Friday night? Can be ready to play? Got him on some film, so we'll be able to assess that pretty well in the game type situation. So it was great for us. Trevor Strobridge right here. Trevor's all these guys are seniors. A two-way guy for us who plays is defensive back, good back there. Also will play some offense in various positions, running back, slot receiver. Dynamic on special teams, really, really good football player. Jake Merklinger, he's going to his 5th, 6th year as a starter. His 4th year as our starting quarterback, and he's had a lot of great reps behind him, and he's had a lot of great games. He's the seasoned veteran at quarterback, and it's showing up. He's playing really well. And John Offer is one of the guys who puts his hand in the dirt. He's our center, and he's been really good at center last year, and he's been excellent this year. He's been really taking a leadership role with our offensive line. You just got to have those guys that play well and play together. He's kind of glue right now to those guys together.
You want guys? Is he 26 years old or 27?
I think him and Stetson are about the same age. That clears it up for you.
Just the feeling of walking quarterback who's been around for so long.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see it every year in teams. I mean, when you have a really good player that's in a prominent role, I think it just gets everybody to another level. I coached a lot of guys, not exactly like Jay, but coached guys similar. And coaching Jay, when you walk on the field on a Friday night, like everyone feels like they have a shot to win, because you got those guys in those positions that are they're winners, that can perform at a high level. You feel like you've got a shot, and he brings the team to another level, and he's a great competitor. He's tough, and sometimes we have to make him knock down a little bit because he is a fierce competitor. But he makes everyone around him better, which is what you're looking for. Yes, I think so. It looks like it. Yeah, I think we just have a lot of guys on the perimeter. I think that's our strength right now. We have a lot of guys on the perimeter, receiver core, running back core that are very talented. So it's a matchup situation like teams we'll face. We'll face teams that are really good on with those guys, and when you put those guys out there, it's a matchup problem for somebody. And it's just a matter of who was matched up wrong in the first play of the game. So they Jake Lee, Caden Arnold hit him on a bomb right there out of the gate, and he was just in single coverage. He just ran right by the guy. So I think we have the ability to really stretch the field both vertically and horizontally, and when you can do that, I think it's a dynamic situation for you offensively.
I know this is outline, but looking at the playoff bracket, you guys are matched up with Region 5. You're expected to be a top 5 team. Region 5 got Cedar Grove, Sandy Creek, that region. You guys are Calvary Day School, expecting type of team in your rating. Do you think once you get that quarterfinals, there should be some reseeding? Like, how do you feel about this playoff once you get to that quarterfinal?
Gosh, I never even think about it, honestly. I'm just trying to think about tomorrow's practice and getting, trying to be ready. But I understand what you're saying. It's just, I think if you are forced to make the playoffs, I think it becomes a completely matchup situation. And you don't know what team out of that region is going to be good or bad that particular year, or what they're going to be doing that particular year. So lots of times it's just completely a matchup deal. Like you may be really good on the back end and be able to cover folks well and shut their passing game down, or you may be not so good there and get lit up by a team that might not be as good as you. It just becomes matchups. So from year to year, it's just hard to know exactly what you're going to face. I mean, it's just difficult. And, you certainly would like to play the best team you're going to play, the last team you play. Not always the case, but it's just something. It's just one of those things you can't control. So you don't really worry about it. No, I think any way you do it, there's going to be somebody that's complaining about it, and it's going to be a matchup problem for somebody. Somebody's going to want it the other way because it was a bad matchup for me. So it's just one of those things that we can't control. There's a few things that you can't control. Those things we can. I just don't even worry about them at all.
For all players, as always, a lot of talk about the upcoming season. How are you guys just playing and talking, and what are you looking forward to the most for this upcoming season?
Well, I got a lot of faith in my guys. We blood, sweat, we work together, we train hard. So I got faith in them. We make each other great. We got a lot of great players, and I just got faith in each other. So we're gonna be solid.
Yeah, as far as the season coming up, we're just looking forward to having fun. You only get one senior season with your, boys, as you'd say. So we're looking forward to it. We're going to have fun and can play as hard as we can.
Yeah, just doing what Jake said, just having one last hurrah with my guys and just having a great season.
South Carolina, we got Thomas Blackshear, Duco with big offers, and Mathis on the line that help Strobridge get some offers. You've been coaching for 32 years now. Have you ever had this many kids with offers?
No, we haven't. I mean, not at that level. And we've had a lot of kids from 1 year to the next, but not at that high level. Like not that many Power 5 guys.
That's comes big egos and stuff like that. I've been in practice, it doesn't seem like that's happening at all. Is that something that you try to keep?
Yeah, we try to talk about it every day. Because when you have that, certainly when you have a lot of really good players, most of their lives they know how great they are, right? And so, just getting those guys to realize that, you're just part of the deal here. And we're glad you're here. We're glad you're a great part of the deal. But you're just an extension of somebody else that's helped you get here, make you better. And you're very connected to every guy that's on the team. If these guys don't do well, you can't do well. So it's trying to just we've said it 100 times, just as long as it gets done, we just don't care who gets the credit. You can take that philosophy and we can just apply that. That's going to make us a good football team. And, if you don't take that philosophy, then people become selfish and self-centered and disgruntled, and it starts becoming cancerous. So, we definitely talk about it every day. I think our guys they're really trying to live that out. I think they understand it. So hopefully we can keep that, that right. Because it's easy for all of us, to be prideful and not stay humble and focused on that. When you don't have humility, it's going to go bad eventually. It's just a matter of time.
So the guys, I don't know if you all have older brothers.
Yes.
They all keep your heads so they still fit the helmet. And what if you're maybe some older sister or mom or dad or something else? Each guy talk about what keeps you guys grounded, like Coach was talking about, and it is Ryan.
Yes.
Is he still bigger than?
Yeah, he is. He's up at Western Illinois right now, but I think you said it perfectly. He keeps my big head in the helmet. There's always somebody who's going to beat up on me. So yeah, I love him, and he's really pushed me to be the person I am today. Someone who keeps me level. He'll beat me in every single sport we've ever tried to play. So yeah, I think Trevor's got some older brothers too.
My older brothers for sure keep me grounded, but I would say guys like Dupa and Thomas, they really push me hard. I have to guard them every day. That keeps me grounded. They're really good. I got to be humble and work hard to compete with them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I am the older brother. So really my brothers every day at practice, they push me to be the best I can be. And the seniors and everyone that came before us, just getting the example from them and seeing how they did it, trying to repeat it. Yeah, and Terry and Fuchsia's before me when I had to go against them every day at practice and seeing how tough they were. It was rough, but it was good.
No, we only have one return.
One return.
Yes.
So what's the pressure on you, John, and the other Hobbs in the trenches?
Yeah, I think we got a good group of guys this year. A lot of guys that are able to come in and out last year, so they got some experience. But we just got to keep it together, become one unit, and just be the toughest group out there.
Play for each other. When somebody gains a 60-yard play, you're happy for that. How does it work with all you guys that want the ball? If they only can give it one at a time.
Well, we're not selfish because, we all work. We all got to eat. We're all trying to make it to the next level, and I see that. So I just want my brothers to see as I succeed.
Yeah.
Of course, always. Might win sometimes, I win sometimes. We just go at it. Yeah, I'm going to fight now. I'm going to fight.
Jake, you've been at Calvary, started for 4 years. Predominantly, it's meant a lot. You've seen a lot of talented guys come through. You got a lot of talented guys this year. Playing Calvary, what's it meant for you? And, I know you're going on to the next level, Tennessee, all second. Actually, what's it meant to play Calvary for Dave Burke?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I've been through 3 offensive coordinators, but Coach Child's been here all 4 years. And it's been, just amazing to play under. He's somebody who loves us, cares for us, pushes us. So that's been really good. And then, Calvary's a special place, whether it's a spiritual aspect, academics, or athletics. I love it, and it'll always be home for me.
Thomas is a really good player, as everyone knows. But I've told Thomas a couple times. The thing I think I'm most impressed with Thomas is he's just extremely tough, very physical, practices very, very hard, competes all the time, and you get some guys that might be super talented that don't have those things going on for them, and they're just never going to arrive like they should. But he is a tough kid, and he practices super hard, and like I say, just competes every day. And you got a guy that's that talented that does those things, he's going to leave he's going to maximize his potential. So he's been good. He's going to play some both ways, yes. Yeah.
Hey, one of you guys want to take this? Calvary, Country Day, Christian, hand in hand. Big rock. What's it like playing those guys? And what do you look for? Either one of those teams.
Yeah, I think it's just been the rivalry between those three schools has just been great over the last couple of years. And I think just going in each of those weeks, the hype that everyone brings into it, the fans coming out for the game, seeing everyone there, it's just what's so special about it.
I think right at 80 kids.
How does that compare to last year?
About the same as last year. I think we had the big influx. We've been, progressively last 4, 5, 6 years. We've been, 70, 65 to 70 kids. And like last year, we got to high 70 to 80 kids, and we're right at 80 kids again this year, which has been, we probably got maybe 200 boys in high school, maybe not that many. So it's a lot of kids that are playing, and we're thankful for that.
Anybody else about Coach Johnny?
Yeah, no, all jokes aside, Coach Chumley's a really good coach, but I think it's helped. You are coached by Coach Chumley, obviously on the defense side of the ball, but as far as me and John can say, it's been really good to go against him in practice. Someone who knows so much, someone who played at the highest level and is coached at a super high level. But he's a character for sure.
No, he's
Anybody else? All right, guys, we wish you the best of luck. Like, everybody around here, everybody in the state's going to be following Calvary Day School. We wish you the best of luck, and thanks for coming, Coach. Keep going, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate
Good
it.
luck at Calvary Day School, Calvary Day Football. Good job, guys. How far did you go? Okay, 11 down, 2 to go, and one guy requested to go early, the other guy wanted to sleep. Did you get your sleep? So, but the next team, they're all connected. Head coach played at Calvary. Head coach coached under Danny Britt. Friends with Kevin Prasad. So it's a small world, but he's done a great job. When he took over the job over at Savannah Christian Prep, I got to watch him in high school, and he was fierce in high school as he is as a coach. Coach Britt can contest to that. So, but he's done a great job, even though he likes to fish a lot too, though. But he finds time to do that, finds times for family, but he's done a great job. And once again, it's going to be a heck of a season watching them and Christian, that whole region go at it. Up next, Savannah Christian Preparatory School Raiders. Head coach, Baker Woodward. Have a seat, guys. I just hope my microphone lasts. We're on red here, so if it goes blank, you got to talk a little louder.
Yes, sir.
So I can hear for the internet. But Coach, you share this with?
Yes, sir.
Your name? Noah. And you guys would share that one. Now, Noah, you've got the job now. When you and Coach are talking, you got to take the microphones, face each other for the TV stations. And then when they're talking, go that way, okay? That's yours. Now, you want to hold it so here. Coach Stroud, you got to wait. Just talk loud.
Okay, yes, sir.
All right, so Savannah Christian, once again, so we go like that region. Coach Baker, Coach Woodward's done a great job, Coach. So to kick it off, tell us how your spring went, tell us how your summer went, and of course, introduce the fine young men.
Yeah, absolutely. Spring football went well for us. I think we've done spring football every year I've been there except for one. And, this year, the boys did just a tremendous job. Our numbers are higher than they've ever been. We started a couple years ago with 35 players, and now we're up to 60 players. I think the kids were a little bit disappointed. We had a spring scrimmage and scheduled with Statesboro, but we ended up having to cancel that and ended up getting rained out for our red and white scrimmage. But overall, our spring went really well. Summer workouts have probably been better than they ever have been at Savannah Christian. We have done a great job with our strength coach, Coach Wedding, and just our guys buying in. We had 25 summer workouts, and we pretty much had every kid at every single summer workout. And so it's been going well. And in summer, we went to Georgia Tech in South Carolina to compete in 7v7 with several of our players receiving offers from those schools. And so, we've worked hard and didn't bring any skill guys with me today. I brought some O linemen and D linemen with me. So far, since I've been at Savannah Christian in the last 6 years, we've had some really good offensive linemen. And, those guys, they don't get recognized that much. The defensive line get recognized in the paper. The quarterbacks get recognized, but their offensive linemen, they don't typically get recognized. And so I brought a couple of offensive linemen and one defensive lineman, but he also plays offensive line. But this is our senior. All three of these guys are seniors. Noah Lewis, he's a 2-year starter for us. He plays center and guard. And then we have Austin Myers, who started for us at D-line last year, but he actually lost about 70 pounds and in the offseason. So he's going to be playing D-line and O-line for us, probably has a chance to start on the O-line as well. And then Tyson Gross, another going to be a 2-year starter for us as well. But these guys are, they've been at Savannah Christian, some of them since middle school, actually all you guys since middle school, right? And so they've been in our program for a long time. And, I feel like I haven't been at Savannah Christian but about a couple months, but I've been there now for 6 years. And it's good to see the guys that are coming up through our middle school program are now starters for us at the high school level. And these guys coming to work, our 2 offensive line coaches, Kempy and Caleb Womble, are very mean men. But these guys take it from them, and they do a tremendous job. And that's why I brought them today. I want the O-line to get recognized because they put in some hard work.
So in total, probably around 80 pounds, 80, 90, somewhere around there.
How much you weighing now?
Right now I'm about 210.
210? How did you go about losing 80? I guess working out, eating right?
Yes, sir. Just getting a diet and sticking with it and working out a lot and with football and all. So I'm definitely a lot quicker off the ball. I've definitely been able to get better footwork and also a lot faster.
You Coach mentioned about retention. What kind of seasons do you expect? We know we have a lot of individual talent players, but as far as the team, how's that going to come together to make it? You guys are playing great the last few years. How's it going to be this year? Just as a start.
Okay. Yeah. We have a lot of talent on our team, and this is the first time we've had. I think we have at least 3 Power 5 guys on our team, but practice has been extremely competitive, and there hasn't been a time where any of our guys are acting like they're better than anybody else. And so what I kind of tell them all the time is that we're going to be a great team if every single person, whether it's the best player on the team or the not so good player on the team, that everybody on the team realize that everyone has value. All right, and so that's what we're doing so far. I mean, there's not one person on our team that they wouldn't stick up for, whether it's the biggest guy on our team, which is Elijah Griffin, or the smallest guy on our team. I think they recognize that everybody has value on our team. And I think that's when you have a really good football team, that when things get done and no one really cares who gets the credit or the glory for it. And so, that's what I've been preaching to them, all year long. It doesn't always happen that way at practice. There's sometimes where people get in their feelings, get selfish sometimes. But this team, when we can recognize each other's value, I think we're going to be a really good football team.
I asked you, 1-2, finished 1-2 in the region. You matched up with Region 5, which is the Super Bowl, Sandy Creek region. Once you get to that quarterfinals, you guys are expected to be top 5 teams in the state, and so it seems like it's not fair that you guys have to play those 1 or 2 teams, top 1 teams in the state in the quarterfinals, and somebody else gets to play less you guys are a team. Do you like that setup that happened in the GS area? Do you think there should be seeds?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Well, can we go ahead and lock down the first or second seed? We'd love to do that right now. If we can do that right now, that'd be great. We can bypass all the teams we have to play. But no, I mean, I think it'd be a privilege to be able to play those teams. You know, we ended up having Sandy Creek at home this year, and they ended up winning the state championship. And I would say that we honestly played with them for probably 2 out of the 4 quarters, and we just made mistakes ourselves with turning the ball over, things that we hadn't done all year. And so that was disappointing. But I think at the same time, like, our guys realized, you know what, we can play with those guys. We can play with the Cedar Groves and the Sandy Creeks. So, I mean, I'm you know, if we finish first or second, you know, we'll be excited. We want to finish first. I mean, that's the goal. And I think all these guys believe in that. And, you know, hey, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And so I'm hoping we're in that situation. I hope we do get to play them again. That'd be great. So I don't see it as anything that's unfair or anything like that. You know, I don't know. I mean, we're a team that should be single A, but we're in triple A. And so, you know, that's tough. But I think, you know, I don't know if there's any way to ever get it completely 100. You know what I mean? Completely 100%, because there's just no way to do that. We have, I think this year we have 430 students, which is the most we've had at Savannah Christian since I've been there. But, you know, going against a school that I'm not really sure what Sandy Creek has, probably 1,200 maybe, somewhere around in that. So, you know, numbers wise, it should seem unfair, you know, for sure. But, you know, I don't know if you're ever going to get it completely 100% right. Would I rather be in single A? Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably I'd rather be in single A or double A. But that's what we have, and there's no use to sit there saying, oh, man, you know, we got to play these bigger schools. We got to play them. It's a 2-year deal. Let's go beat them, you know. And so that's the philosophy. And I don't think any of our guys on our team that are saying that's unfair either. I think they're ready to go out and compete.
How'd you guys take it when Coach said everything that you wanted?
Well, I was kind of excited, you know, to always get to see that. You know, every other school I've seen come through so far had like 1-2 linemen at most. It's really a privilege to be here. Thank you, all y'all interviewing us today. And yeah, it's just we get unrecognized a lot. I feel like most of our best, I think, part of our teams are D-line. I mean, they have Power 5 offers all across it. They're very talented. But, I mean, we got to go with them every single day. I mean, they push us each day. I feel like it's like why we're going to be one of the better lines of state this year, because we get to face this amount of competition in practice and work that hard.
I was going to say pretty much the same thing he said. It's nice because we do go unrecognized, but just like he said, going against that D-line that we have in practice, like Coach Robert always says, iron sharpens iron, and I think it's making us a lot better than what we would be if we didn't have them going against them every day.
This coach, you know, Paul said Bradwell had an unbelievable season for you last year. I know in the beginning of the season we talked, nobody was really giving him any credit to do. We highlighted him. He came. How do you replace that when you replace the left?
Yeah, so Paulus had an unbelievable season. He's heading off to college now to play quarterback at a D3 level. You know, in the offseason, we told Paulus, hey, you need to improve on these 3 things, and he did it. And I thought he had an impressive season, but I think what was even more impressive is how he kind of won the respect of the team. You know, and so, yeah, he's going to be big shoes to fill. He's played quarterback for us since 7th grade within the system. But right now we've got 2 guys that they're kind of competing for that spot. Blaze Thomas, he's a sophomore. He's been here since, I think, 7th grade. Really good athlete. He's not the biggest guy at all, but he has a strong arm, good quick release, and he can extend plays. And then our other quarterback, who we're going to use in some situations, is David Busey. You know, he's got some of the best ball skills I've really seen as a coach. Does a great job for us at linebacker and wide receiver, but he's just one of those guys that could probably beat you at anything. Like David hasn't had any reps at quarterback. He's been using receiver. Let's throw him in a quarterback, see how he looks. Well, he looks like he's good enough that he could probably start quarterback. So so we got 2 guys that David has more experience. He split time with Paulus his sophomore season. But right now, I would say if we had to start a game tonight, it would be Blaze Thomas. He's worked real hard. He's just been learning the playbook since he was in 7th grade. And I think our team respects him. Now he's a character, but our team respects him, and he's had a great offseason. He did really well at 77. I know 77 is not football, but he did a tremendous job.
You guys talk about getting stronger by having to face that defensive line every day in practice. It sounds like a match work problem. What's your confidence level? How does it fluctuate during practice? Like you win some, you lose some. You're going against a line every day. How does your, speaking for yourselves, how does your confidence level go through a regular practice?
Well, I kind of feel like it's the same the whole practice. I feel like, we know what we're going into every day. We know they're good, but every rep they're beatable. They're players. 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, no rank. They're all good. We go in every single day. We want to beat them, but we know we're going to lose some, and we have to accept that to be able to get better, learn off our mistakes, that expose us and our weaknesses. We can go in an individual and work on that and drills and sharpen the skills that we aren't as good at, that they expose out of us. So once we can go perfect everything, I feel like we can be really good.
Yeah, whenever we go against at the starting line, my team, it's like we know that it's going to be a fight no matter what. Like, they're really good, but we're good too. It doesn't matter about stars. Like, we can compete with them, but I think the reason that we are getting better is because we have been competing against them for the years now. And if we lose a rep, the coaches are going to make sure to point it out that, yeah, we did lose, but they also give us the skill we need to win it the next time same play happens.
Earlier about going back to your Benedictine coaching staff with Andy and Kevin. Can you remember back that far? What was it like, and what were those guys like back then?
Oh, it was good. Coach Brett, he's a really mean person. It's good. Coach Brett. We had dinner the other night. We're still good friends, and I learned a lot of stuff from Coach Brett. Mainly is our guys can handle more stuff than we think. I'm not a soft coach by any means, but I do see all these kids as my own. Like, am I running them a little too much? It's a little bit too hot, and then I think back, like, what did we do back then? And I was like, nah, I think we're okay. I think we're okay. But I learned a ton from Coach Brett, not only from when he's the head coach at BC, of course, but he was our defensive coordinator when I played football at Calvary, and he's always been a good friend of mine. I know I can pick up and call him, and he'll be there for me. But it was a great time when I was there. It was a lot of fun at BC, but I just truly believe God called me to Savannah Christian, and it's been great. It's been all my kids are now at Savannah Christian. My wife's even there, and so I appreciate everything that Coach Brett did for me, and it's good to know that I could call him anytime. And Kevin and I are good friends too. And Kevin's moved on from there. It's done well at St. Andrews as a head football coach. But it's nice to be able to pick up a phone and talk about our problems as head coaches sometimes. But definitely learn a lot from each other.
The stage of these teams crossing lines at the college level, you guys are a step-by-step scrimmage.
No, we haven't done that yet, but we did scrimmage a couple of years ago. We scrimmaged, but no, we haven't thrown against each other. I think they do something in Alabama, and we typically either going to throw at our school or either go to South Carolina or Georgia Tech.
Coach, how do you assess your schedule of you guys opening at Christian, and then you also have America? So you're traveling up and play on.
Yeah.
How do you assess the schedule, and how excited are you guys just to get the season underway?
Yeah, so we were excited that we didn't have to get too many non-region games, with our region being big, because it's really hard, and I know Brett will attest to this, to find non-region games. And if you have a successful program, teams don't want to play them, you know. And so we got Hilton Head Christian. They were a really good Skeeza team. They won like 20-something games in a row. And so he had reached out to us, and we talked to him and ended up playing them. They're a pretty good football program, just a smaller school. And then we have Islands, they've had some good years. Coach Printup does a really good job. But then we had Battery Creek. Battery Creek was in South Carolina, and they ended up getting out of the contract. And so we were stuck like in the summer, or actually in the spring, trying to find an opponent. And I was like, hey, we're in a 2-year deal. You know, we need to play this game. But we couldn't make any leeway with that. So it was a team in South Carolina that was kind of like an IMG type team, and then there was another team up north we had to travel far, and then there was Marist, and that was like our only 3 options. And so I knew Marist was good. I knew the coach there is one of the I think he's got the most wins of any active coach. And Coach Chadwick. It's a solid program, and we kind of know what they do since birth. They've been running the triple option. And so we've seen that before, and so it's not necessarily that we wanted to go play Marist, but it's exciting because it's going to gauge us to see where we are as a football program, and where we are in the state, because Marist has been recognized in the state of Georgia for a long time as a football program. So we're excited about it, going to Atlanta, making a day of it, and getting to play them, and then of course right after that we have a bye week, and our first region game is Country Day. Our second region game is Calvary. So, there's really no rest for us. Right when we get done with Harris, we'll have a bye week and we'll prepare for Country Day. You guys are a really good team. I think everybody on their team's coming back. So, we got our hands full, but we're excited about it.
You guys coached through action. Country Day, Calvary back to back. I mean, you guys have 2 rivals, and it's always rotating in the coaching. But I know it's been tough for me because I've had a Raider and I have a Calvary Day. So, what do you guys look forward to these rivalry games? What do you look forward to?
The way I see it, it's like no matter what, like we could be 0-9, and one of them could be 9-0. It's going to be a fight either way. Like I feel like anytime we step on that field, the atmosphere is better than any other game. The competition is better than any other game. It's just like you can tell it means more to both teams. Country Day and Calvary. It's just they're the ones that we wait for every year, practice all week. Everyone's getting hyped up ready to play them. It just feels like that's the reason we're here. Like we want to play them.
Building off of like what Noah said, like we always know it's going to be fun. We always know it's going to be a competition, and at the end of the day, it's just the end result comes out to who's going to work harder, and hopefully it's us.
Yeah, Country Day and Calvary are both 2 very good programs. I mean, they've had incredible players. As Calvary went earlier, they have a bunch of great players. So does Country Day. But having them in the middle of our schedule, my first 2 years in high school, we played them towards the end of the season, and now we play them in the dead middle. And I kind of feel like having it in the middle is a lot better because towards the end of the year, if you lose one in a close game, it kind of like deflates the team's energy. But having it in the middle, especially last year, I mean, we beat Country Day, came and lost a very tight game to Calvary that we know we could have won that game, should have won that game. And it kind of was our energy for the rest of the year. Won the rest of our games, won the playoffs, won 2 games, won on the road, won a big game against Peach County, came up short against Sandy Creek in the third round.
Yeah, we worry about it because, and even me sometimes I'm like, is it better? Sometimes is it better for him to go to IMG and because the competition may be a little bit better, as a player. Yeah, we've talked about it several times, and trust me, I've been talking to him since he was in seventh grade. But he talks to me and he says, Coach, from the state, we graduated from here. I love it here, and so I'm not as worried about it. It's just he's just a good kid, and I think everything that he needs to the people and the support system is mom, his grandma. He has a trainer that he gets around his alumni, that's not Christian, and his defensive line. Coach Trader here. Everybody that he needs is right here, and he's got obviously every offer in the country. And so IMG is not going to bring more offers, and I think he also likes the fact that Savannah Christian is it's good in athletics, it's good in academics, but it's also the spiritual aspect of Savannah Christian. He enjoys as well. He's a Christian young man. He has good influences on his mom and grandma. So I don't see him leaving. I'm broken heart, of course. They will stay to the graduates.
Anybody else?
Yeah, since you got the office line here, do you guys ever get tired of always talking about South Carolina?
Anybody else? Well, Coach Woodward, always a pleasure, and always sorry that you got the second to pass look at it, a little box when you had. I know you wanted to go a little early, but as they say, sometimes you just save the best things for last. You know what I mean? But anyway, you're doing a great job over there. Keep it up, and can't wait to see what the Raiders do this year. Savannah Christian Preparatory School Raiders. Give them a hand. Hop over for your picture. All right, Coach. I feel like you did last year.
I know, man. See that? I'd still be hopping off.
How many we got? 1, 2, 3, and a coach. Good.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, see you guys. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
All right. Thanks for coming.
They're a mess, man. They're a straight mess. Yeah.
Okay, next one up. I know there's not many good people here, but Coach wanted to sleep later, so I accommodated it. So, no, really good. An hour and a half, so you can be up 13 school. Great job over there. 13-year-old guy, I still give you this story. That first day of varsity, unbelievable. That's where it started. We turned it out. I still coach out. My young son's being hit. Better play coach than these two. Coach Stroud, a little mild, a little, kind of. Coach Rick, he wants to do something like that. He's got back, he's there. He's got a big job over there. I don't have to be accolades. That's why. So, Coach, Tell us that story. Tell us that story. Salary.
Yeah.
Tell us about the boys, how they introduced you.
Yeah, very, very good. It was a great tour. Obviously, and we're from the ball with us. We're a good quarterback and ball player at Bryce Baker. Yeah. Obviously, very good player for me and even better leader. Here, we'll hear from them. But had a great off season. We felt like had a good spring. Good spring was late as we can, and
Thank you.
try to get everybody out from the sports. We were able to do a lot of work there. The summer has gone very well.
Thanks.
And,
Introduce you. You introduced them. That's right. My fault. Go ahead. Go.
I want to get to it later, because Kevin's still here. We need a lot of time for the other questions.
yeah, you know, I think the program, I older and older age, tear off every once in a while and that sort of thing. But I'm trying not to. I think I'm the same coach that he's probably right. And I do like the shoes, though, if you get those. This guy, I wore them like 2 months ago.
You guys agree that Coach softened? I don't know if that's at all, you know?
Last year's all around me and a couple times he started running all of that, so after getting all of those, so I don't think he's soft. Coaches, we've been pretty much the same, pushing hard, no matter what the situation is. But I just know that he knows the difference how his players react. His response to certain parts of the game, practice situations. And he's trying to
Coach, out of the words out of the mouth of babes, you're getting wiser as you're getting older.
Well, that's the closest thing that anybody ever called me smart. But I do think that's probably true. To learn, and we've gotten better. It took me a long time to do it. I did everything you need to do that stuff. So hopefully that's the case. That's the idea. Get better every year, and hopefully we're doing it.
Players as leaders of the team, what's kind of a message to other guys in terms of not looking too far ahead of what's at stake in terms of the third?
One practice, one more get better, get stronger, become a better team, just one game at a time. Like what you said, taking a game at a time, take up I saw this year, and the season with ours, so yes, coaches always remind us of, bringing people that celebrate the day. The goal is to get better each and every day, practice, game, set outside. Yes, we'll have games,
Coach, you lost a lot of production from the offense with the graduation of Swan going to Minnesota and Thomas transfer over to Calvary. At the end of the year, though, guys like Houston and Rashawn Matthews in the playoffs came up big offensively, and then I guess the offense going to move into their hands, and can we expect to see some more touches?
Yes, looking back to last year, that was, I remember proud of all of that in my 27 years of coaching is the way the team came together. We had people not playing for all kinds of different reasons. When I'm in Bryson, as we ran the skill part of the year, the team really stepped up. In fact, out of the 25 seniors we had last year, only seven of them on offensive and defensive starters at the beginning of the year. And everybody just stayed with continued focus really well. And that's how we want. We want to truly get next year. We want to continue to do it. I think it's very teams do. I think we've had success that we see. We try to foster that every week. But yes, from the offensive perspective, it's in Luke's hands, and we feel pretty good it's in his hands. Because obviously he's in trouble and can do great things. Houston, Rashawn, Barry Green, a lot right now. Don Bryan, four receivers, and then now a little bit of a hand injury, but he'll be back as soon as we expect Barry Green from him. I see Sam and a question of Bryce is yes, the answer is yes. You see him offensively. Just looking last year, we kept kind of holding off on it all year because we felt good about where we could be, and we hit the playoffs and started working more and more. And then unfortunately, he round 3 in the shot rate we had a yard rushing. We got involved the first week of the semifinal game. So we want to make sure we're using him. He's really, really good.
Practice. They came to see Bryce specifically, and the defense coordinator and offense coordinator just happened to come with the defense coordinator. So the defense coordinator watching him, and then we moved Bryce over. We were scrimmaging to play some offense, and he touched the ball once, and the offense coordinator said, "Coach, I'm going to offer him as a running back before he gets a chance to offer him as a linebacker." So, yeah, he's really good at all of that. So we plan to give him the ball. Yes.
Bryce, what do you like to do? Is it offense or defense?
I really like helping my team. Coach has to touch the ball.
Well, Luke, I mean, you're a quarterback that loves to hit people. Coach, you cringe every time he runs the ball. Or you'd rather be on the defense or offense side also.
So he begs us to play defense, and all last year, literally, he begged us to do that. And I'm scared to death to do that, right? Because if he goes over and gets hurt, it's just different. I don't want to make that happen. We talking, and don't tell him, but we've been talking. We want to get on in the secondary zone this year. It's not going to happen in the beginning of the year. But we're thinking, yeah, that we may need to do that this year, and he's really good at it. He's starting. I saw him in the last year. He started not taking the hits that he didn't need to take, and that's just not his mentality. So it's taking him a while to learn that, which I love that part. To me, that's the best part about it. All the skills that Luke does have is the fact that he just loves the game. He's physical, and
Well, how about your rebuttal on that one?
Just growing up in a defensive school, I've always been kind of taught do the hammer, not the nail, and just kind of been taught to, that sliding and running out of bounds kind of isn't the way that I was kind of taught. So I try not to do it, but the coaches get on to me, and as we go farther and deeper into the season, as I got more experience, I've realized that I kind of have to do that to stay healthy. And if we want to win more games, I have to be healthy. So kind of just being a team player now. This year I'm going to focus on not taking as many hits and sliding.
Oh, so you're not going to truck anybody?
Oh, I'll definitely truck a couple people. Not all the time. A couple of times I'll run out of bounds against the bigger guys. Kind of pick and choose my battles.
Just looking from the outside, is there anybody in the country, if they saw the two quarterbacks, high school quarterbacks, how do you and Jake talk about where you are in terms of your progress from your middle school to where you are right now? You guys talk about that, about how crazy it is that you're going to these elite camps together?
Yes, sir. Me and Jake have a great relationship. We grew up playing together on the Dogs, and we just kind of kept that relationship. He's an unbelievable quarterback and athlete. I'm super happy that he's going to play at Tennessee. But kind of just speaking from Savannah area, the amount of players that we have going to play Power 5 football, not even just quarterbacks, but all sorts of positions, O-line, D-line, linebacker, safety. It just speaks a lot. And I kind of feel like Savannah's really been put on the map college coaches, and that we've kind of proven that we have the athletes that can go to the next level here. So just to be a part of that, and me and Jake to be some top quarterbacks in the nation, both from Savannah. It's just it's truly a blessing. I'm very thankful for it.
Speaking of putting a team on the coach, looking at your guys' schedule, you guys are I believe that Atlanta, you guys take a trip, but also North Carolina. Can you put that in your schedule?
Yeah, so definitely, I try every year to get the toughest schedule we can get. Obviously, what we started becoming a part of Prep, Gridiron Logistics, and it's an organization that gets national teams together. And that's how we ended up in Columbus the past couple of years, and we ended up ranked in the top 25 in the country when we came to Florida. We picked up Julius Chambers out of North Carolina in Charlotte. We're going to start off with scrimmage Chambers next week. We go to Jenkins at Memorial, and then we go to Charlotte to play Julius Chambers. And then the next week we have to go to play Westminster. And then we come home to Ware County, who's so that'll be a game, and we look forward to that. So we have a very good region, so this should prepare us for that play. So I'm excited, for what we're going to do.
The players, just the schedule, how ready are you guys just to get the season finally underway?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, we've been counting down the days since workouts play. Just super excited for the schedule that we have. I think Coach Britt and Coach Sam do an unbelievable job of, preparing us for the state playoffs, scheduling these teams from out of state that are great teams. It just prepares us to go deeper into the playoffs. Along with our region, we have a great region. Wayne County's an unbelievable team. They're going to be a real great matchup. So is everyone else who's not in our region. So we're just looking forward to getting out there and being able to play those teams and just kind of prepare for the season.
I was so ready. I didn't want to some workouts. I was just so ready to get to it, but it's not like that. You gotta work hard. You gotta be prepared. You gotta train out. You're ready.
I think one of the hardest things for me and also my teammates is those 1.5 months after the season before spring. Some workouts come. Everybody was anxious for the next season. We worked really hard this off season in the summer, weight room, football, and personally, waiting for this season to start. So, as a team, as a group, we can be there, fighting each other, having fun, and playing teams like Julius Chambers, Christopher Columbus, those tough teams out of the region early in the season. I believe that really prepares us for the upcoming Regents Field and for the rest of the season. And it's just something to really help us, competition and challenge for the rest of the season.
Over the years, Benedictine Savannah High was a big rivalry. No more Savannah High. You don't play many local schools except for Islands and New Hampstead in your region. Is there a rivalry for you guys, or it's just go on the road and take one game at a time? Don't say the word three-peat because we know someone will get upset with us. So what's the rivalry?
Rivalry. That's the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm.
So really compete with us.
On top of what Bryce said, just having great success in the past years, feels like every team is kind of targeting us on their schedule and circling our names, and they want a piece of us. So I feel like every game that we play, we're going to get the best of the team that we end up playing. And they're always going to bring their best against us just because of what we've been able to do in recent years. But like Bryce said, I think our rivalry is ourselves, just not getting complacent and continue to work hard on the field and in the weight room and just become a better team.
Coach, you said you have a scrimmage game this Friday.
Yes, it's a Memorial, yes.
Okay. Maxwell projections came out for the year. They wrote you guys number one. That's great. I'm not sure if you saw that or not. Do you agree with that assessment that you guys are number one?
First of all, wasn't that a great answer?
Yes.
They gave about the rivalry.
I've got perfect answer.
Great job, guys. And I haven't even talked about that. Great job there.
You might be rubbing off on it.
Well, yeah, I hope so. I talk enough, I'm sure. But I don't know if I saw that or not. The fan, I think if you want it all the year before, you should be number one. That's college and everything when it starts. See how it plays out. But I don't look at that. I don't look at. If you ask me what region we match up with in the state playoffs, I have no idea. I have coaches who look at that, but they know not to talk about it around me. And I don't want them talking about it because who cares? And I'm not being mean when I say that, but as far as we read as a staff, we read John Maxwell's book, the leadership book, and that's where we came up with the term focus for this year. We are focused on what we're doing right now. If we focus on what's happening, late months from now, or what we're going to do with the playoffs, or even where we're ranked or anything, that's the wrong stuff. We're going to focus on each and every day and competing. Be better today than we were yesterday. And if we do that, we're going to be pretty special.
Another question I don't talk about this with you. You guys did 4A. Before you classified you were 1A. Do you like being in 4A, or do you think it's public private?
Benedictine's never been in private. I've never been in 1A. Benedictine had always played in 2A.
Yeah, you played 2A.
So we played 2A, and that was good. Obviously, they was out of there. Again, I don't mean to dodge the question, but I don't care. We'll play whoever. And my wife likes to quote something I said several years ago when they were talking about moving us out of 2A. And I said, I don't give a bleep where you put us. Tell us where to play, and we'll win. And that's how I feel about it. We're gonna whoever we go play, we're gonna try to win. And so I like playing in 4A. If we end up going to 5A, I'll try to do my best to go in there. So
My question to you is, I know we won't talk after that first year that 5-5, and the playoffs came from 0-10, 0-10 season the year before. Did you ever see the program going where it's going? And you, as a leader, I mean, you've just risen this program to the next level because a lot of you guys are from Nathan or whoever from Georgia know that BC before 2014 had never won a state championship, but they were always considered one of the best programs in the state. Do you see ever going to that next step in your wildest dreams?
Honestly, no. Okay, so when I went there, and, people were questioning, like, why are you doing this? So most of the alumni, they're strong, we all know, did not want me. They
I know.
They wanted another coach, a great coach, and I'm great friends with, and some wanted, just something different. I never took that personally because they didn't know me. It wasn't me. They wanted something else that they knew. But I did feel like it could be a lot better than it was. I felt like the fact that it was a Catholic military school, there should be a certain level of way you could play to be successful. Now, did I tell you that I thought we'd win state championships? No, I didn't. I thought we could be good and competitive, but I did not think that we could be able to, win 4 state championships like we had. So, but I tell you, when that hit, it was in 2013 when we were a really good football team and we lost in the semifinals, and I blame myself for that loss. I will the day I die. If I live to be 100 on that day, I will blame myself for that loss. We could win championships here, and
Loyal coaches, kids that have gone to Benedictine are now on your coaching staff. What does that mean to your program?
I think it's extremely important. In fact, I wore the 2016 championship ring today in honor of the guys that are coaching with us now. Bobby Baker, Bryce's brother, Chris Harris, Jonah Griffin, who all studs on that football team. They're back coaching with us. I think it's really good. We have former players who come back and be part of that culture. Clemson has that. If you look on Coach Sweeney's staff, he has like 30-something guys that were former players. They can be a part of the program. I think that says a lot that they want to do that. Have to talk to those guys when they're still young about, now you're coaches, you're not players, and there has to be a separation there. So, but I think it's really important, and I would like to coming back and be a part of it.
I promise you, last question, guys. What does it mean to you guys to see former cadets coaching you now?
I think it speaks volumes about the tradition and culture that we see. For these guys to come back and want to be a part of our football team, be a part of, gave them some BC tradition and culture, and just to have those dudes who have won state championships and been in the position that we have been in, I think it's great for us. They have a lot of great knowledge. They've gone and played all places, so they're bringing it back to us and helping us out. And as coaches, they really push us to make us better players.
That's great, because as a matter of fact, they're younger than the competition level. It's more intense. And they've been on the shoes before, so they want to tell us. They wanted to tell us.
What's it like with your brother?
Oh, man. He's always in my ear every time. So, sometimes I listen. So.
Like Bryce said, they've been in our shoes, walked the halls, Coach Brett, played at the next level. So, having them out there, younger, relate to us a lot. And I think it really helps us. They see it, from our point of view before, so it's easy for them to kind of relate to, hey, pushing some. We've had those early morning practices, those long road trips. I know it's hard, but this is what it takes. I'm just grateful for them every day, and they fight with us, and we fight with them to become the best we can be as a whole.
Anybody else? Well, guys, thank you for being, waiting, and I know it just worked that way that you guys wound up being last out of the hat. But once again, we'll be following you, and we one game at a time. That's what it is, one game at a time. And we look to hope to see you in December back in a place that they used to play the game. Coach, great job. Military School. Thanks, guys. We need a picture. Get a picture of the shoes. Those are sweet. And you got that polo collar, that new thing coming up?
No, this is actually just my shirt.
How are they? I haven't tried them yet.
If you button up, it looks like a button up shirt, but it's a polo.
It's a polo.
It's collar company.
Yeah, nice.
Man, now try it out. Like, you want to see my neck's so fat. I'm trying to make a push in society to stop wearing neckties. Right?